Alright everyone, Tactical Lich here, and welcome back to another Total Warhammer Wednesday Faction War stream. Today we are once again in our usual tournament with quite a few players, and yeah, let's see what happens here. We're gonna fight Angel first, I think. Angle? Hold on, this might be a different player, hold on. Oh, never mind. We are fighting Angel, yeah, let's see what happens here. We're gonna be playing green skin today. So for the thematic unit that we'll try to use today, try to make a build with them work today, I think I'm gonna try Biggins. Not the ones on the boars. I just want the regular foot Biggins. Maybe they can be savage, maybe they don't have to be. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going just yet, but yeah. Let's try Biggins today and try some proper Crumpin with the greenskins. I mean, we're still gonna bring Orc Boar Boy Biggins just because they are better. Oh shit. I don't know if I can. Hold on. So basically, a player checked in late, so I don't know if I can still activate them into. Yeah, I don't know if I can still activate them at this point because the tournament has started. Reactivate? Can we do that? No, I don't think I can reactivate. It's unfortunately challenge is a bit weird with the yeah. Challenge is a bit weird with the brackets with Swiss format. I can't freely add brackets and adjust the brackets once they're formed. So I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Leodero, I'm not entirely sure if you can still play in the tournament, but what you can do is we do have a buy round with one of the players right now. Give me a second, I need to check who. Scott Brent. I'm not sure if I can still add you into the tourney, but Scarbrand has a buy round now. So feel free to DM message him for a fight if you guys feel like doing some MP practice. So yeah, basically, unfortunately, with the challenge settings, I unfortunately can't conveniently adjust the brackets however I want, so I just so I don't know if I can still add Leodoro into the tourney since he did not since he unfortunately missed the check-in. But yeah, Skybrand is still, I assume you're still having a buy round, so if you want to play some games, Leodoro is down for some practice, I assume. So yeah, anyways, let's figure out our own army builds because we have our own fight to take. Yeah. Hello Skybrand, nice to see you here. And yeah, if you want to go and play some games, we do have an unfortunate player who missed out the check-in, so yeah. There will be a pretty good, there'll be a pretty good, practice target. A sparring partner, in other words. Let's just go for Soul Blight, because it lowers armor. Do we have anything else that... Oh, Sunder armor. Yeah. Let's just get some armor sundering at the same time. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Do we have anything that drops enemy armor? I mean, we can just grab the armor sundering missiles in the form of rusty airs. We can't get more than one. That's the only unfortunate bit of that. Can we get any? Well, maybe we can just get Azak the Slaughter. Haven't seen him in a while. Imbues poison, Strider. Does he really need Strider? Azak's art armor. Yeah, let's just get some more abilities. Get on with it. Those are Slanesh, so yeah, I don't think the Terra really matters here. Ooh, but the problem is, oh, they have a lot of. I'm a bit worried about all the. We're not gonna bring Doom Damage. So Blight, Fear of Bjorn, Spirit Leech. I'm a bit worried about They're rampaging. Okay, you know what? I'll just take the Giant River Troll Hag and take that, and then get another Miser, Spirit Leech, Soul Blight. I don't know if I should bring Fate of Buna in case Seekers. Wear Rogue Idol, the RR especially. Good question. Rogue Idol might be a good answer here, but I don't know. I guess we can do that, and then we are running out of money. So I guess we just kick out some gobbles. We have a lot of Orc Bacon, so there's that. So let's just grab a Night Gobble War Boss, Giant Cave Squig, Fermented Fungi, and Tormented Sword. We also have Bifist, so we have a lot of like control abilities. But yeah. It's gonna be a finicky fight. We have some rather elite infantry. And we can probably box up. The Rogue Idol is the goat here. Huh. Okay, actually that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know if my build is gonna work or not, but you know, whatever. We are memeing a bit after all. Can we just bring 1, 2, 3, and then we still have 100 gold left, which we can spend it on something. Not sure what though. Alright, I think that's about it. We're just gonna bring a very basic box build. Alright, cool, let's go. Whatever. We roll. Hey, Cooking Cole. Nice to see you here. Welcome back. Oh, actually, I need to do some self-promotion here or there. While we wait for us to load in. Okay. Alright, cheers. Good. We're good to go. We're loading in, so just gonna take some time, because after all, we are playing with players across the world, so connection isn't always the most ideal. We might have to wait a bit, here and there. Alright, we're gonna try to box up a bit. Just we have a lot of chaff in front. Hopefully they can hold a bit against the Slaanesh speed. Oh wait, there's no armor here. Why did I? Okay, okay, made a big mistake. I forgot Slaanesh doesn't have much armor. So why did we bring any armor sundering capabilities? There's no need. All right, all right. Well, in that case. If this goes all to shit, then yeah, it is GG. But yeah, let's see. Let's try our best to do this, actually. Maybe the Rogue Idol can carry us today. We shall see. We'll probably get heavily rampaged all over the place. Actually, let's just swap some units here. We're gonna have to try and box up a bit here. Alright, ready as well. So gonna have fun to my opponent. These two can fight together. The Volta Marauders. Yep, there's no armor here, and why did I fucking bring? Oh, that's a lot of. Yeah, why did I freaking bring Armor Sundering? I was not thinking straight there, but whatever. they're still solid missiles. I guess we can debuff the armor by 5, so it is something. It's not great, but it is something, I guess.
We do it.
Alright, let's just send up some of the big uns. Send up our boys. Getting ready. Why did you miss, babe? The big un! You're supposed to be the biggest, the baddest. Alright, let's just go in ahead there.
Running. Nothing to help.
Alright, everyone just stand there, please.
Here we go! Run, boys! Run, boys! This is it! Battle!
Alright, let's just go in for a fight. Yeah, everyone, please have your stats reduced for a bit. Alright, you can go shoot that thing up while we're at it. We're a bit busy on basically all sides. We don't have anything to plug the gaps at the back there, so whatever. War time! It's war time.
Where's the scrap? Run, boys! Moving fast!
Alright, you guys pull back a bit there. We managed to just straight up beat whatever in the front line. There with the big uns. Nobody expected the big uns, I guess. So there's that.
Get going. Doing one.
We had a great time!
I'm the best.
Alright, just keep these guys in the fight on the side. Big uns, you guys can go and fight that while we're a little bit busy right now. Spirit Leech's time to start draining. Alright. I just have to duke it out with these guys. Oh no, they got stuck in the melee for too long or something? Okay, Big Un is doing work, which is good, I guess. But it's also ran out of ammo, so I guess you have to go in and start dumping stuff in melee fights. Okay, if you guys pull back, you guys are taking a lot of damage, and I don't like that. The Rustiers, I think they have outlived their usefulness while they're at it. Alright, everyone just stay there, and everyone can have some anti-large while we're at it. Alright, go and slap the guy around for a bit. Big Un, you have to do a lot of heavy lifting right now. I don't have anything else to do over many places right now. Alright, Big Uns! Or Big Uns, you guys have to do all the heavy fighting. Heavy lifting right now, and alongside our dear the Big Un. I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but we're gonna activate a second Y, I guess. Hopefully this will help a bit more. Oh fuck, but these guys are getting their leadership wrecked. Oh no! Oh, and we got Phantasmagoria at the same time. Not great. Will they come back? Hopefully they will. But hopefully is a keyword here. We can only hope. Alright, he's silent for a bit. Alright, Big Un, come over and slap those guys for a bit. Oh, you're at it. Yeah, our troops are faltering pretty hard, and we don't have much resources at the back there. What? Oh, those are summon fiends? Alright, whatever.
Run, boys! This is it!
Alright. Alright, come over here. And we can start rapiding you into a random fight. That, I don't really care about. Wait, come on! Come down! There we go. Alright, there we go. Get a big hit onto Azazel!
Night Goblin Warboard!
Alright, get him on the ground so that we can. Oh, god damn it! He went back into the skies, god damn it! And our Lord is still getting dragged all over. I mean, you know. Get some damage output out. The biggin! We need you to win the day here. God damn it. We still have a lot of gobbles on the ground, I guess, so that's like something. It's something. It's not great, but it's something. The Biggin is doing a lot of damage to Azazel though, so that's something, I guess. Yay, we are delivering some rear charges here and there to get some more leadership so that our boss doesn't run away. And we can come back to keep slapping things down. And you can keep staying here, you know. And he's back! She's back! She's back! Alright, I don't... Just run the other side! Run the other way! Miser them! Slow them down! Run! Come back! Riptime River Troll Hack! I need you! Just run! I need your help like now! God damn it! Alright, these gobbles are dead. Damn it. But yeah, Giant River Troll Hack! Run! Run away from the demon net! I need your Spirit Leech! I don't care if you've miscast or anything, I just need you to cast some spells and kill Azazel. Come on! Just a few more seconds! Right, come over here, and then... God damn it! Narcissism! 10 more seconds! I think she can survive that, hopefully? Alright, let's come over here and slap that, cultist. Alright, just long-range casting this shit. And we didn't get the... Yes, nice, we didn't get miscast. He's almost down! Maybe I need another cast, probably. That's probably what I need. 30 more seconds! 13 more seconds! We have every... Okay, and Azazel is going down. Good news, everyone. Hold on. And the big atomic slap missed. God damn it. Alright, let's just go charge that. And the Giant River Troll Hack can stay away. Maybe he can slap the other cultist here. We need to kill another cultist, so yeah, I guess. Yeah, the big in here. Archangel, thanks for the tip. I probably shouldn't be doing that in the next game. Yeah. Big giant. Wednesday faction rules, game 1. Yeah, I probably should stop taking advice from outside the stream. Yeah. Anyways, the big un carried, but also at the same time, the big uns are okay. The big uns did okay. They put up a decent fight against the enemies, and one of them held on till the end and earned back quite a bit of value. Gobbles, though, not so much. They just got slaughtered mostly, and yeah, the Orc Boar big uns, some of them got stuck in melee for a bit too long, and just died fighting more elite units in melee. So yeah, that was unfortunate for them, but yeah, very well played by Angel as well. An interesting Exalted Demonet rush build, trying to flank my army, being a rather narrow line with a couple cultists. So yeah, GG to my opponent. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing with 4 big uns, I suppose, for the rest of the 20. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's see. We do have Leodero is being added back into the 20. Okay. Alright, looks like, alright, we have the first round done, and we've got some replays as well. Now, we're fighting Vampire Coast next. We're still bringing our 4 Orc Biggin infantry build, but we might need a different tactic this time. No more the Biggin. We can't just keep spamming every kind of Biggin on the field. Alright, wait! Is it legal to bring 8 Biggins? The Savage Biggins and the regular Biggins? I need to check. So, they are not... Oh yeah, they're variants, so I can't... Wait, they're variants! So they don't share the same unit cap? I can bring 8 of them? Oh boy, I think I can legally bring 8 of them. Okay, the unit variants are limited to 8 per variant group, and Savage Orc Biggins and Savage Orc and regular Biggins are within the same group, not the same unit, so you can bring 8 of them max. Yes, I can bring 8 of them max. Okay, I'm just gonna bring 8 of those boys. 8 of those bad boys. Wait, hold on. Why is the YouTube chat not showing things normally? Huh. I think YouTube is having some issues today because I'm not seeing anything in the chats, but I know that Archangel, for example, commented earlier. Same goes for Cooking. I'm gonna just give me a second. I'm gonna go and check out my stream on another device so that I can keep an eye out on the chat. Or, the chat's empty. Weird. Yeah, the chat's empty for some reason. Not sure why though. But yeah, I guess we might have to play without chat today. Because I know that, like, YouTube seems to be having some connection issues when I was watching it today. And there seems to be other people experiencing some issues as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening with YouTube. Yeah, it's weird. We might just have to play without chat today. Yep, whatever. We'll still be streaming, that it doesn't change what we're trying to do right now. We're going to be fighting Drugash though, so just let me quickly message them and look them up to play. Electric Spanish, Kane versus Corn equals Mortal KH combat. Combat with KH instead of a C. You deserve the worst punishment in Slanish's dungeon just for that. I told you that RR Rogue Idol is good. Yes, indeed. You're right. You're very right. You're very right, Scarbrand. I appreciate the advice. Alright, we might have to wait for Drugash a bit. I don't... Oh, okay. Alright, cool. Accept their DM. Hold on. Alright, let me just join in their lobby. Oh. Copied some random stuff in there as well. Hold on a second. What do you mean? Oh. What is me? What is this? What is up with me and my typo today? Anyways, today we are gonna try the forbidden tech. No wait, no, not Grand Cafe. We're gonna try the borderline illegal build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so we are gonna try this. 8 freaking orc biggins and see what is gonna happen here. But yeah, I honestly don't know, man. I honestly don't know. So yeah, according to fruit rules, orc biggins and orc savage biggins are 2 different units, but counted as the same variant. But what you can bring with a variant group is you can bring 8 of them at most. So theoretically, I can bring 8 of these biggins. Wait, can we just bring more biggins? Wait, hold on. We need some money for the lords and for the heroes first. Hold on a second. Yeah, we can just bring a salvage orc shaman with a gaze, brain burst. Just clear out all the chaff, and then we can send our infantry into fight. We can bring more biggins though. I think we can bring more biggins. Yes, we can. Let's just get a wyvern, brain burst, and here we go. Actually, nah, we're gonna bring Gorbad on foot, because they are Vampire Coast. They can kite us, right? Right? I hope they can't. Not this. He can be on foot, and then just bring an Orc Shaman with the Discourage doesn't really do much here. Brain Burster, and here we go. Actually, you know what? Fist of Gork. Brain Burster, here we go. Bring a few more things here. It is just a... what am I doing? It is just an army of biggins. Nah, I need some missiles. Actually, I need some missiles. I can't just bring all. Yeah, in case they're bringing gun bats or bomb bats, then I need something to shoot back. Yeah, we'll bring some gobbles here and there, and a couple light cav to screen off the enemy mobility and whatnot. Here we go with Fist of Gork. I think we can just bring Fist of Gork. Actually, we don't need here we go. We can stack things up sky high in terms of stats, but do we need to? That's a real question here. And I don't think so. Or we can do this and then just have more units screening off stuff at the back, or oh, actually, let's just do this. We have a lot of biggins and a lot of gobbles, and I think this will be a good fight. Can't wait to see this. It is a meme build. Just 8 freaking biggins and 2 more orc biggins, boar biggins. And what else? Oh shit, this is the Isles of Crimson Sky. I rarely play on this map, so I'm not entirely sure. Because I think this is like one of the Conquest only maps. I don't think this map is available on normal land battles, or so yeah. It might be a Conquest only, and it's rather narrow. I might consider banning it if this doesn't end, if this gameplay experience doesn't end up well for everyone. But oh wait, no, this is also on like the this is also on land battles. Okay, never mind. This is completely fine then. All right, we are gonna have 8 whole biggins. Look, I do not intend to use the white line to block flanking. It's just that if I spread out my army, it just covers the entire map, or at least the entire deployment zone. So there's that. It's not like I have units. Okay, I'll leave some flanking space. They can use that. I'll try, like, yeah. I'll leave some flanking space here and there, because I'm just gonna leave the Orc War Boys biggins like tight behind my formation and all that. Alright, cool. Yeah, we can spread out our lord as well, characters as well, just so they can support different engagements and brain burst things. And yeah, let's get ready, and a couple more Gobble Wolf Riders in case we need to deal with scurvy dogs and stuff like that. We're gonna get the fight out to our opponent. Alright, ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. There's no techniques, there's no tactics here. There's only rush. We're just rushing. Yeah, there's some space. I'm not gonna send out my troops to block those flanking maneuvers. They are free to flank. This might end up horribly, horribly wrong, but we shall see. It might also work out really well because nobody expects this. Yeah. We'll see, we'll see. Good luck, have fun to our opponent, and we now wait. We now shall wait. Gorbet can just stay here so that his the Great Leader can cover 2 units, I think. Alright, just waiting for my opponent to get ready as well, and then we are good to go. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, so we start. We rush! We rush! It's just a wide line of big uns! It's very big. Oh no, Shade Wraith Gunners, I hate that. I don't think we have Gaze of Morph, so that's a problem. We have Brain Burster, which unfortunately doesn't really do jack shit against them. Celestra, what are you trying to do here? Oh wait, if she's this is gonna be rough. We're getting. Yeah, we just have to keep pushing. At least they're not spell blasting my flanking Savage or Bigans, so that's something, I guess. These Bigans are done for because they're probably not gonna survive that. Alright, I'm just gonna run away with Orc Shaman because obviously he's gonna die if he doesn't run. With like a lot of fire into him as well. Oh, okay. With a lot of collateral damage against stuff on the flanks, we can keep rushing, I guess. Yeah, one of the Orc Bigan unit is already down, and yeah. All right, we charge. Doesn't really matter at this point. We just keep running. And maybe get some of our units nearby and start delivering those flanking charges. Both units, you can start moving in. Alright, you can just ignore that and start rushing. Can we do some damage against them? We can. Some, just not a whole lot. Okay, we're taking a lot of damage everywhere. That is not great. And alright, you guys don't ignore that. Just go in there. Oh wow, okay, they're in here to plug the gap, so we're gonna send up some stuff to open up the gap as well. Charge that. We can move our big guns in there. Okay, our backline is in complete disarray now at this point. Oh lord, our caster is also gone because it's getting sniped. Yep, never mind. I probably need something on the flank to flank them, unfortunately. Just charging everything in from the front just got blasted by Shade Wraith Gunners are really good as well, but that's minus 16 leadership debuff. So that was unfortunate. And without the caster, we're a bit fucked. Oh, I've seen the Night Terrors tearing apart like some other people's army before. I was not preparing to deal with that, so that was also a bit of a mistake on my end. And yeah, my Orc-Boar cavalry just got blasted as they try to like move up. Like, why are you standing still? Go up and move up and fight! Yeah, that was bad. We're getting blasted to smithereens everywhere. I probably needed more Daka in this one. Yeah, that's probably because like the Orc Bigan's speed is a little bit slow with only 31. I mean, it's not gonna be Oh shit, we have the units forgotten on the side. Probably need more, definitely need more mobility against the Vampire Coast, and just got nothing to deal with the backline flank. Need like more dogs, more skirmishing cavalry, and a lot more Daka line, more chaff all over the place. Because every time my stuff got shot, it is like a 750 and 850 gold. Wait, no, 850 and 950 gold getting shot. So that accrues a lot of damage for my opponent's missiles as well, which is not great for my orc units, for sure. Very well played by my opponent there. Unfortunately, this orc Biggin build didn't quite work. We can try again. We'll get them next time. Ah, goddammit. That is a GG. Everything just got shot to bits when they tried to move up, and I have nothing to counteract the enemy guns. I probably need an artillery, if anything, actually. Just to outshoot the Shade Wraith gunners. Yeah, skirmishing cav and skirmishing cav, artillery, and instead of these goblin archers. A couple of them did fine. Maybe I just need a couple to fend off bats. But yeah. GG to my opponent there. Very well played. We got shot to yeah, we got shot to death there. Oh, actually, what might have made sense is the case of Mork. Yeah, that might actually be the case. Hold on. That. And Fist of Gork maybe? And we still have some money left for our characters. So we can just cut out one of the Gobble Riders and bring in a few Spider Riders. That can probably do some flanking there. Yeah. Just to disrupt the enemy backline, stop them from shooting while our infantry march forward. Yeah, that might be a better idea, just because we have a lot more mobility left on the field. And then these two Orc Boar Biggins can stay at the back there to fend off any Mongols. That was something I was not taking account into, and got surprised from behind. Yeah, we can try this next time against a gunline faction. GG to our opponent though. Very nicely played with the defensive formation of the Vampire Coast. And then we're just waiting for Curio and Leodoro to finish their game, and then we can move on to the next round as well. Well, in the meantime, I'm just gonna do some tournament admin there and download some replays while we're at it. Yeah. Alright, okay. Okay, while we're still waiting, we can, check out some replays. Okay. Give me a second. Just need to, get the folders up. There we go. Alright. I think this is between Ludero and Scarbrand, which is not exactly a tournament game, because Ludero didn't sign up on check-ins. Oh wait, no, never mind. We already have the last... Is that the last replay up? Okay, that's the last round, last game from round 2 as well, so I think we're moving on to round 3. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool, hold on. We are gonna move on to round 3, because we just have our last battle in round 2 done. So yeah, we're just gonna hop back into battles ourselves. Hold on a second. Yeah, we'll have to wait till after the 20 for the replays. Anyways, Leodero is our opponent next, who's playing as High Elves. High Elves. I don't feel comfortable going with a full infantry army against the High Elves. We already seen how horribly our army fare against missile spam, and a staunch line of spears plus a bunch of arrows is gonna spell our death, but we're still gonna throw in those orc biggins regardless. Alright, cool. Looks like my opponent has a lobby and doesn't have a lobby, so I'm just gonna host one myself then. Oh, never mind. They hosted a lobby as well. I'll jump over then. Map is Valley of Thieves. Alright, we are fighting against High Elves, I think. So we will need something to counteract their High Elf archer line. We're on Valley of Thieves, so it's gonna be a rather empty map, which is a good thing if we want to bring some Gobble Rock Lavas. You know what? Let's bring 4 of those Orc Biggins, and then a ton of Gobbles. And then... Okay, we don't have enough numbers here to bring more of the other stuff, so we can just bring this and then bring a caster and be done. Let's go... Where's that? Or maybe a... Let's just bring that. Fate of Funa, Spirit Leech, and another... And once again, bring a Night Goblin War Boss. Cave Squig, Tormentor Sword, Fermented Fungi, Spite of the Bad Moon, and get back gear. And we are out of funds. Great. So we just gotta cut out even more gobbles. So that at least we can bring life leeching. And we still have some money, so Meister as well. Alright, I think we're good. I personally really like the Night Goblin War Boss as like a lord. Because he is really... He's really good at controlling enemy movement, right? So you can just bring him, drop those Rampage and the Fermented Fungi and Tormentor Sword, and your opponent would struggle to maneuver around the battlefield with their units. Okay, you can bring... Yep, I think that's about it. We're just gonna get shot anyway, so ready when our opponent are. When our opponent is ready. Oh wait, no, we're supposed to bring like 4. Damn it, we're supposed to bring 4 Orc Biggins. Hold on. We're also out of funds. God damn it. Okay, we'll just bring less Orc Biggins then. Whatever, doesn't matter. And then bring a few more Spider Riders. Just to harass enemy backline and whatnot. Yeah, and we can bring quite a few of them too. Yeah. Gobble spears, and we're good to go. Almost a full 20 stack. Two Rogue Idol is the way. Nah, it's. I think it's. I'm done with Rogue Idol. We don't need more big guns on the field. Or you're referring to the battle against the Vampire Coast? Now that is gonna be horrible. Right, we're just gonna lob rocks and hopefully hope for the best. Especially these are gobbles rocks, so I don't expect them to have great accuracy or anything. We're just gonna put our biggins right here. Yeah, some form of defensive infantry that like my opponent will have to fight when catching these when trying to silence these rock lobbers. And these are biggins, so they are pretty good fighters, even against cavalry stuff. So yeah, let's see what happens here.
The war is here.
Alright, gobbles, gobbles, gobbles. You guys can just stand in front and die for the back line. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready. So we're also gonna be ready, I think. Alright, ready when our opponent are. Good luck, have fun. Alright, we lob rocks. Wow!
Goblin rock lovers, smash them up!
Right, I need to turn on guard mode so they don't move around when they fire.
Goblins! Picking target! Rock lovers! Taking a shot!
Ooh, that was a brutal hit. Oh. Oh. Alright, we can move these guys over. You guys can keep firing and lobbing rocks at keep lobbing rocks at the. Oh, we can actually lob it at the infantry. Really? You're taking that fight? Alright. You might just come over. You come over, you come over, you stay there. Fermented fungi you in there while we're a bit busy. Alright, so let's move those guys over and then we can move some infantry in there. And yeah, just keep fighting in there, I guess. Spare leech some of those. Okay, move over there. We can try and kill him while we're a bit busy. Alright, you can shoot that. You guys can shoot that. Now we're a bit busy with that. Alright, alright, you can turn that on. Turn that on. One of our lobbers are down. We're almost done with killing Altharian, which is good news. He was stuck in here for a while. Alright, we just have to probably wait for... Slow that. Alright, I'm still a little bit busy here. Doing a lot of firing work. Alright, and then we can turn that on, I guess. Alright, lobbers. Alright, you guys can come over there and help. Rock lobbers keep firing. I don't really care what you're trying to do here anymore. What is our... Okay. Do we have enough for a Fate of Beyond? No, we don't. That is a bit of an awkward spot. At least our Biggins are kind of free from the other side of combat. Just keep firing, I guess. Alright, fatal view of that. There's no healing on the other side. We're good to go. Just keep lobbing rocks, I guess.
Let's go.
Yep, this fireball is done for. Good news for us, I guess. Yeah, Eltharian's done for. We can just keep roaming the battlefield now. With a lot of our orc boys doing anti-large work.
Let's go.
Doing a lot of anti-large work.
Yeah.
Just holding the line. Fireball is all dead. It's good news. Can send our infantry back in.
The war is here.
Now the rock lobbers have outlived their usefulness. We can give them up and go and fight something else while we're at it. Alright, you guys start fighting in there. Do we have any rock lobbers still free? Shoot that. Yeah, we still have 2 online. We can keep shooting that. Okay.
Get out, boys.
Okay. We can probably just drop some spirit leeches here and there. Okay, that's not gonna help, unfortunately. You get out of there. Alright, that's too late. Sorry. Alright, work begins. Here we go. Do we have any artillery left on the field? Okay, get him out of there. Maybe we can set up a second wall soon. That would be neat.
Whatever you say.
Alright, you guys turn back and fight that. While Orc Biggins here are a little bit too busy taking fights elsewhere. Alright, we've dealt with that, now shoot those while you're at it. Alright, so keep rushing, keep rushing, keep rushing. Come on, you can go and you can go and chase off those running Elgies. Oh shit, I forgot about the capture point. Alright, you go there. Everything else, yeah, we should release that, I guess. And I think we're good. We're good? Yeah, I think we're good. Just keep lobbing rocks, I guess. There's not really much to do remaining here. Oh, yeah, let's just do a bit of fermented fungi, dragging them into melee or something. Just stop them from shooting for the meantime, and we can start killing things in melee.
I'm ready. Doing one. Running.
Capture the point. You guys can go and chase down routed troops. You guys pick up the artillery and keep firing. Rock lovers, just chase them down, shoot them down while we're at it.
Moving fast.
Alright, you guys go there. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. No, the goblins are still shooting. GG to my opponent there. I have, although I did cheese a bit with the triple quad rock lobbers, but yeah, GG to my opponent. Interesting build with the rangers. Theoretically pretty good at clearing out enemy gobbles. I assume the mainstay here is to use the Dolphin Sea God to thin out my infantry, and anything I sent in to charge their front lines will be dealt with by the rangers instead of the usual holding the line with spears. But yeah, I think the biggest mistake is just throwing Eltharion the Grim onto the ground, but at the same time, Night Goblin Warboss has so much control ability. Like, if he throws everything at a single target, they're gonna stay on the ground for a good minute, at least. Especially when combined with the Giant River Troll hack. I did split them up today, but yeah, Tormentor Sword and Fermented Fungi are just really good at keeping a single target on the ground once they're engaged, and just keeping them in the fight and allowing my units to just walk up over and beat him down in melee. So Flareon the Grim got taken out early, which means the rest of the army will lose access to their healing. Like the Fireborn just didn't have any healing and got hit by Fate of Buna, and the rest of the army just got hammered hard by the Rock Lobbers. I probably rushed the archer line up as well. I'll probably try to get the 11 Reavers into like a flanking position, and drop the Frostheart Phoenix first onto the ground instead of dropping a Flareon first, just to bait my response, just to bait the Greenskins' response to the Frostheart Phoenix, maybe. I don't know, actually. But yeah, I was just expecting Archer Line, and the Rock Lobbers paid for themselves because of that. GG to my opponent there, and we are moving on to the final round of this week's Faction Wars 20. Round 4, I think. Wait, hold on, we're still waiting for one of the players to... one of the brackets to get done, so... Yeah, we're just gonna wait for a bit, and while I download and save replay files. Give me a quick second there. Alright, we got the replays. Oh, Dark Elves versus Vampires. Alright, cool. I'm probably not gonna start another game in case Scarbrand and Nurgle versus Electro Spanish's Corn is sorted out soon, because all the other brackets are done, so it's just that one more bracket we're waiting for. And yeah, depending on how the games play out in the final bracket, we might or might not have more games to decide who is the final winner of the tournament. Alright, let me just quickly... You know what? We might just actually go in for a replay first. We have, cause like, I feel like, well, let's just get some battles. Okay, this is gonna be a fast one. Kane versus Corn, the Mortal Kombat with a KH instead of a C. Alright, cool. Choreo with Dark Elves with a lot... It's the Goth Harem build. I just played that last time with, I don't think it's last week, it was before that. It was with just a ton of Dark Elf troops. Oh wait, no, it was last week, I think, with a ton of, Dark Elf ladies. Alright, Choreo going with, the Dark Elf Harem build. Crone Helebron with 5 Witch Elves and a Death Hag. With a Witch build for herself. And also, Crone Helebron didn't bring Witch Brew, but did bring Gaze of Cain for the extra damage output, 25% damage and 24 attack. That is a really good boost there. Just that the units will be in Rampage, so they will be stuck in melee for a while. 5 Witch Elves, 3 Sisters of Slaughter. They have shields. They don't have anti-infantry bonus, but very solid melee stats, just a very lightly armored, so they're more of an anti-infantry role. As they are quite fragile to being charged or being shot at, mostly relying on physical resistance to protect themselves. A couple Harganev Executioners, the chats leading the way for the ladies, ready to slice up some Corn skulls. Now on the other side, actually, yeah, I think... Oh wait, there's no caster on the field. Yeah, it is a very Kane build. I guess Kane doesn't object to the use of magic, unlike Corn, but still, just going... Everyone just worshipping Kane, going into melee, and trying to get some brutal combat out. Crows of Kane as well, so yeah, a lot of units of Kane, and I feel like Harganev Executioners are definitely a Kane thing, given how specialized they are in at the ways of a melee combat as well. Anyways, we are gonna move on to the Khorne side of the battlefield. Marauders of Khorne in the front line with Forsakens with silver chevrons, 2 of them in fact, so quite upgraded, quite elite for a Forsaken unit. Oh, interesting. Huh. Oh wait, never mind. I think, yeah, the unit rank still gives them additional melee defense. But yeah, it's a horrible melee defense, but a very substantial weapon strength and melee attack on the Khorne Forsaken. They're backed up by Khorne Gores and the Bloodwake Berserkers, one of the best melee unit, if not the best melee unit in game. Just very elite, high weapon strength, high melee stats, 83 attack with Frenzy active, and they are immune to flanking, immune to psychology. I think they're unbreakable. Wait, not? They're almost unbreakable. But yeah, very strong, very elite. I mean, they will fight to the last Berserker remaining on the field, and also Valkyr the Bloody leading the army, and some dogs in the forest hiding away, including Karanak, ready to ambush the enemy caster. But there are no caster on the field today. There is only melee, elite melee versus elite melee. Let's see who's gonna win in the end, as the Harganev Executioners are gonna be leading the charge here. Oh, did I forget about the Skull Cannon? I did. There's a Skull Cannon blasting off some of these Crows of Cain from the skies, which is quite unfortunate for them. But overall, in the front line, you can see the Harganev Executioners are definitely winning the game here, winning the engagements. A Spear Slopnir weakening some of these Sisters of Slaughter. I do want to see these Witch Elves starting to activate their... oh, there's a unit of Chaos Knights of Khorne, which is the bane of all these Dark Elf ladies, since they don't have much armor. They're basically wearing bikinis into combat, and once they get charged, they take a huge amount of damage. A little bit premature of this second unit of Witch Brew activation, because they're mostly not actually in melee contact and are wasting a lot of the damage output. But overall, Witch Brew has managed to like boost up these Witch Elves. Wait, these ones haven't activated their Witch Brew? That might be a big waste. Anyways, this is time for a little bit of murderous mastery to give these units, all these Dark Elf units, even more damage output in melee combat. Basically, the Dark Elves are winning most of the melee engagements unless they're surrounded. But even if they're surrounded, they're still gonna put a lot of hurt into the Khorne troops. The problem is that the mobility side, they're on a bit of a back foot right now, especially when the Witch Elves are out of Witch Brew now, so they don't have the kind of damage output to quickly nuke down any units, and they're just kind of led ahead by the Chaos Knights of Khorne, just running ahead of them, can't really drag those into melee. Now the Harganev Executioners are trying to push up, but the problem is that they're getting bombarded quite a bit by the Skull Cannons here. Now the Bloodwake Berserkers and the Forsaken are also charging in from behind them, so they're turning around to face those guys in melee combat. Although, that is some friendly fire from the Skull Cannon. I guess Khorne doesn't care, for he does not care from whence the blood flows, only that it flows. It can be the skulls and blood of their own troops, and Khorne will be just as happy. Anyways, the Witch Elves have been trying to catch up to the Chaos Knights, but the Chaos Knights have been staying ahead of them. As in infantry, they just struggle to drag those mobilities into melee combat. And the Harganev Executioners are instead getting executed by the double chain hammers, smash apart in this melee combat, facing something finally that is more elite than them. Especially when the Forsaken are providing that meat shield, those infantry assistance to those Bloodwake Berserkers. Crows of Cain and Crone Halabron are trying to go after the Skull Cannon and silence the enemy artillery power, while the Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter have basically cleaned up pretty much the rest of the Khorne army. Most of the Marauders are dealt with, the Hounds are dealt with. These Khorne mobility got stuck in melee for a little too long. They charge into some Witch Elves, but then, because they stayed in there for a little too long, the Witch Elves that have been pursuing them managed to wrap around them and just trap them in an encirclement. They were not able to get out of that engagement. Now more Witch Elves are jumping into more combat. This is what they enjoy, but the Bloodwake Berserkers will still pummel them whatsoever. And yeah, they don't have Witch Brew, which is quite unfortunate. They don't have that kind of damage output to quickly burst down the enemy troops, but maybe for the sheer amount of melee troops, they can try to finish off the Bloodwake Berserkers, but it is quite hard. Crone Halabron here with those Crows of Cain are trying to finish up Valkyr in melee. Valkyr is not great in fighting this kind of block fight. She is not exactly a particularly tanky lord. Doesn't have the biggest health pool at only less than 6,000 HP. Not that Crone Halabron is much tankier anyways, but yeah, you can see Valkyr is taking a lot of damage while Crone Halabron on foot having armor piercing and anti-infantry with her dual swords, was able to put some really good hurt onto Valkia the Bloody, especially when Valkia has her Demon Shield on cooldown. Valkia took a bunch of damage, and now she will be chased off by the Crows of Cain, as they would not let the Khorne Lord return to battle. Though, unfortunately for the Dark Elves, there's still a problem of Karanak and the Bloodwake Berserkers. Karanak is less of a problem in the sense that you don't really need to kill him. As in, there's nothing really he's against right now. I think the Gaze of Cain is pretty much used up. Well, still one use left, I guess, but yeah, you don't really need that, I don't think. Actually, no, you do need that to burst down the Bloodwake Berserkers. Either way, the Bloodwake Berserkers have been stuck in the fight for quite a while. They do not have any Vigor Refresh this time because, well, they don't have the Blood Speaker nearby, so no Vigor Refresh for them. They are quite exhausted, and their melee stats and armor has been dropping quite a bit, giving the Witch Elves a little bit more opportunity to maybe beat down the Bloodwake Berserkers in melee, but it seems like they're more focused on chasing down the Forsakens. But overall, it seems like the Dark Elves have managed to get a little bit more ahead on balance of power there, as Valkia is getting extremely low. Though Valkia was able to return, regain her leadership in return, while Karanak and Crone Hellebron are duking it out here. Hellebron was a lot less healthy than Karanak, but because of these Hargonef Executioners aiding her in melee, she was able to pull this one back and actually killed Karanak and banish him back into the warp. While at the same time, the Bloodwake Berserkers trying their best to duke it out against all those Sisters of Slaughter and Witch Elves, just that there are just too many of them. They thrive in this kind of surrounded combat, but they are exhausted, while these Witch Elves are only tired. So this vigor difference is going to make quite a bit of make things a lot more awkward for these Bloodwake Berserkers. A little bit more Spear Slopnir from Valkia, managing to put those Witch Elves a little bit less into a weaker state, but at the same time, Gaze of Cain has been activated one final time. All these Witch Elves, Sisters of Slaughter, get a massive boost in damage output. And these Bloodwake Berserkers, elite as they are still fighting against some very much juiced up Sisters with their exhausted stats. You can see their attack stats are basically matching the defense stats on the Bloodwake Berserkers. Bloodwake Berserkers route, it is only the Skull Cannon remaining in combat, trying to grind it out with its self-regeneration. But Crone Hellebron is coming. She does have some decent fighting power left, and there's a lot of infantry support for the Dark Elves. We're gonna fast forward this one as the Skull Cannon is getting surrounded and worked down, and GG 12 players, but this will be a victory of the Goth Harem build from Curio there. The Witch Elves did very nicely because they are fighting up against Khorne, which everything is demanded to be thrown into melee, and because the Witch Elves got a really good trade into basically everything here. Yeah, they've got some pretty good value. Same goes for the Sisters of Slaughter. They're more elite than most of the infantry on the field, getting really good trades across the board, unless they're fighting Bloodwake Berserker or Forsaken. But everything else, all these Marauder or Khorne Gores, are just getting slaughtered in combat. Hargonef Executioners did okay, but unfortunately not getting a whole lot of value, as they're not able to earn back their worth, since they're either blasted by the Skull Cannon or fighting something that are more elite than them, which is the Bloodwake Berserkers. But Crone Hellebron did very well there, beat down Valkia, beat down Karanak, though not so much for the Death Hack actually. But yeah, very well played from both players, and it's gonna be Greenskins versus Dark Elves next in my bracket. Actually, let's check out the army performances on the other side. Karanak and Valkia did quite a bit of damage. Same goes for the Forsaken, and most importantly, the Bloodwake Berserker, and also the Skull Cannon as well. The rest of the army, though, unfortunately not doing a whole lot. The Warhounds don't have any good targets to chase after. Any time they jump into combat, they're just getting beat down by more elite combatants. Even if they're charging the Witch Elves, they are still charging into like anti-infantry units, right? And Khorne Gores have no purpose here whatsoever. Everything here is infantry size. Not even Hellebron is riding anything. So yeah. Their anti-launch has been pretty much useless, and the Chaos Knights of Khorne could have used a bit more active cycle charging, just unfortunately they didn't quite manage to get those cycle charging out, and yeah, Skull Cannon, yeah, it's mostly the Forsaken and Bloodwake Berserkers trying to carry this game here. Unfortunately, they were not quite able to do so. But a very, very brutal combat from both sides, and we're gonna go and fight our final opponent here, and that is Kurio. Yep, Kurio. Just finding him on the lobby, and yeah, we're jumping in. One final live battle for today, unless we have a draw in the brackets and the rankings, then we shall see. But yeah, we shall see. Dark Elves. I assume they're going for which I'll spam. Then I shall take this fight once again with the. You know what? You know what? I think we can. I think I'm just gonna do the Biggin route. It's too expensive to bring the Savage Orc Warrior Biggins, so I'm just gonna bring the Orc Warrior Biggins. Or maybe actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Whatever, man. Where's Zach the Slaughter? I need him to cast spells, or I can just bring the Savage Orc Shaman. Nah, I'll just bring that. And you know, I'll just bring him on foot. Fist of a Gorg, here we go. And everything else, I guess. The power of the big wah. I don't have any much money left after this. Where's that? Should I get Mumbo Jumbo? No, I don't have money for this shit. God damn it. Effigy of the Git. Resurrected Revenge. I'll bring Get Back here and Squiggly Beast for the magic regeneration. Warp Pain probably doesn't matter much. Oh, I'll just get the miscast. Doesn't matter anyways. Alright. Let's see what happens here. We're ready. We're ready. I hope they're bringing the Golf Heron build. Because I'm gonna bring the Orc Chats over. The big Chats over. But if they are not bringing that, I'll just be sad, I guess. Yeah, I'll just be sad. Let's see. Let's see. Kane better than Korn, objectively proven. Well, what I'm going to play against Korn, I blame on RTK Sid is still brainstorming. Hello, Phoenix King. Looked up on the wiki that executioners are favored by Kane after the witch elves. Oh right, yeah. It's just a Kane build, not just females, but just Kane themed build. So that's why the executioners are hanging out with the girls. That makes sense. That makes sense. Either ways, I am. We're biggins. We're just bringing biggins to the fight. I'm just gonna bring biggins to the fight. I don't give a shit. Chats. Alright, Kane versus Gork or Mork. I don't know which one is it. Is this supposed to be? The cunningly brutal and brutally cunning difference, you know? Alright. There's little tactics here, just wah. There's no tactics, just wah. We're wahing, boys. We're wahing. Warsack is just on foot dancing happily. Yeah, look at him go. Look at him just enjoying his time on the battlefield. All right, we're ready. I think Skull Cannons did more in melee than in range. Yeah, I think they just grind through a bunch of infantry with the Skull Cannon. I like the Skull Cannon. The problem is that they don't have much ammo and they always miss. So yeah. So yeah, in terms of range damage, they're not that effective, but yeah. The great thing about the Skull Cannon is that it can heal in melee, right? So it's just regenerating and tanking damage from all those non-armor piercing witch elves and Sisters of Slaughter. Oh wow, Archangel already done with their game. All right. Oh no, we're getting kited. Oh, Krill might have brought something else. Oh, it's a box build. Why, Kurio? Why? I'm so sad. Yeah, this is disappointing. What am I supposed to do with all the melee troops here? I'm supposed to rush down. I'm expecting glorious Wah instead of whatever this is. God damn it! Oh well, it is fine. We'll try to wreck everything in melee and just crush everything. Simple as that. Oh, that is not great. Alright, everything just charge, please.
Here we go! Shifting!
Alright, we don't have much techniques here. There's only rush. There's only Wah. And the grim darkness of the far future, there's only Wah. Alright, we are wowing, boys. Are we getting that melee attack buff? Yep, there we go. Get those mobility in. Warzak is on a time limit now, so that is not great, but we're gonna send those in, I guess. Alright, we can send those infantry over then. Warzak, where are you? Nope, you're not moving out of there. Get those mobility in. And yep, let's just get those charging angles through the enemy. Turn on Wah, so everyone can start wahing into the box. I don't give a shit anymore, just Wah. There's only Wah. Let's charge. Wah! Alright, let's go beat down Malus while he is too busy surrounded by my stuff. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine. We're just getting spirit leeched as expected. It just happens normally. Oh no, we're getting terrified all over the place. That is not great. Well, whatever.
Here we go. Moving fast.
Can we get another? Here we go. Here. Yes. Wait, hold on. What the fuck are you doing here? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's get those boys over so that we can start duking with everything in the vicinity. And get those plus 40 melee attack with everything here so we can smash down everything in melee. Yeah, we're just Wahing. Whatever the fuck, I don't care. The Wah is here, boys! We're charging for a second Wah. Come on, we can do this. Get a second Wah. And yeah, I guess Warzak is a little bit busy with
Where's the scrap?
Wait, where's the caster? Oh. Can we get them? We can probably try. You know what? You know what? We can maybe try and hunt her down while we're at it. Alright, we have basically chewed up everything in there. Alright, we can get a second while we're at it. Alright, 4-boy biggins are almost dead. Alright, we need to spirit leech this lady. I mean, we need to kill this lady somehow. Okay, alright, we're still trapping Malus down there, so there's that. Oh no! Oh no! What are you doing, Warzak? Why are you routing? You still have so much health? Alright, we have trapped them in here, so we can kind of just leave them be. Send those guys over, and I'll send those infantry over as well. And leadership boost. Oh shit! No! Run away! Run away, Rizak! Run away! I need your infantry to come over here and maybe deal with Malice / Darken for a bit there. Alright, one final Spirit Leech is done for, but we also don't have any more answers against Darken here, actually. Run! We're still getting drained, that is not great, but I guess we'll just send in... Yep, yeah, there we go. Ouch, that hurts. Alright, let's send those Orc Warboy Biggins over... I mean, Savage Orc Warboy Biggins to be exact, to chase down the enemy. Everything here is getting... Here we go. Still getting... Here we go. Okay, whatever. Alright, drag those into melee. Get those infantry over. Cavalry over as well. And let's try and drag them into melee. Let's duke it out, I guess. And they're stuck a bit here because we have too much mass. They can't just easily push through. Good news for us, I guess. Oh no! Where's that? Why are you still getting pushed and pushed around and dying hard? Oh no! Alright, let's just send our remaining cavalry over and kill this thing. While Darken is too busy duking out with stuff in melee. Oh come on! What is this? And Warzak is dead. God damn it. Everything starts fumbling with like leadership stuff. Leadership issues. What was that? God damn it. Alright, just charge it, I guess. Whatever. It's not like you can do much else right now. Alright, pull off some of our infantry there. Just doing one unit after another unit to deal with Darkan. We can just hang back with our infantry there. We don't need to rush in. Except we need to pressure the Blood Red Shrine. That is a different issue here. Reaper of Souls is killing everything. That is not great. Things are not great. Yeah, we need to kill at least the Blood Red Shrine. Or at least pressure it in melee. Maybe smash it first, maybe. We lost Warzak, so we don't have leadership. We don't have spells. We have things that can maybe charge that again for a bit there, and then we stay back for a bit. Let them duke it out in melee while we wreck the Blood Red Shrine. We wreck their blood. Yeah, let's just bring it down, so at least they don't have that thing here anymore. And then we can just send unit after unit at Darken and hopefully deal with him. I mean, he is almost at his heal cap. And he can't capture the point that easily. Alright, we hold back, just capture the point, while the Orc Biggins are busy fighting. Alright, cool. We hold the line. Let the Orc Biggins take the fight and just get a few stabs in. Because every time he charges in, he's trapped in the big brawly muscles among these chads of the orcs. Yeah, can you get another couple hits in? Yes, you can do it. You can do it, orcs. You can do it, Biggins. Just get a few hits in, and then we counter charge on the other side. We don't have anything else on the field, so everything else is just standing here resting, trying to get some more vigor back and also leadership with as they rest. A lot of them are fresh now, which is good. And Darkan is getting worked down. He's healing fast, but his heal cap is in sight. So there's that. And we still have a lot of infantry remaining, just keeping our infantry away from the guy so that we don't get everything Reaper of Souls. Just making sure that they can stay in fighting shape. Yeah, just walk these guys. Darken is still stuck on these the brawly muscles of the routed orcs. They're still there. Alright, let's just go in and get some charges in again. Start smacking. Every time he charges, he's plunging himself deep into a surround, which it works well for me because I'm getting like troops behind him and smacking him from behind with the big brawly muscles of these orc bros. Actually, keep these guys staying further back. While Darken is a bit busy fighting my Orc Bros. You can keep blasting them, I don't care. I have 8 whole fucking units of Orc Biggins still. I have more than 8 units of Biggins actually. Some of them are Borgor Biggins after all. But yeah, that is gonna be it for Darken. He can't punch through all these muscles, man. There's too many Biggins, too many big muscles. Look at how well built these guys are. These guys hit the gym every day. Alright. GG, well played to my opponent as well. He was expecting like an infantry grind. I gave him an infantry grind, but he couldn't outgrind the muscles of the Biggins. Yeah, they worked for their worth. Yeah, we got 8 whole units of 8 Biggins, and they mostly earned back their worth. They're either just killing a ton of infantry or okay, these guys most of them earned back their worth. These guys haven't, but also killed like 121 Dark Elves. I think that's worth it for them. Wurzak mostly here just to drop the buffs, and oh man, did he drop that? Did he drop buffs, man? He did. He throw in all those. Here we go. Just help me clean up all those Dark Elf infantry a lot faster. And this is just a wall of muscles and HP and high weapon strength units. Like even if you have armor, it's a bit rough for like infantry like Dark Elves to fight the Biggins because they have high weapon strength and solid attack stats as well, I think. But yeah, I feel like it is still not exactly the greatest unit you can find against most of the matchup because they're just an infantry and they're too slow to pick the fights they want to pick. I just got lucky because my opponent decided to go for a box build, and box build of the Dark Elves are a little bit too glass cannon for something like the Orc Biggin spam, I guess, because like the infantry didn't held on for too long, and they just got quickly crushed by the Here We Goes and Waz from all the Biggins, and that means exposing the Dark Shark backline, and they just got quickly collapsed in as well. And Cold One Knights doesn't really trade that well into Savage Orc Borber Biggins because Savage Orc Borber Biggins doesn't have much armor, and I crushed the Cold One Knights, and then everything else is just pretty much like a grind to kill them. I mean, I expected Wurzak to die anyways because you always have to expect Spirit Leeches as the greenskins killing your lord. So that was that's just an unfortunate fact of any matchup of greenskins versus army with Lore of Death. But yeah, we managed to outgrind Darkan, which is fine. I think that works out. GG to my opponent there, and I think that concludes all 4 rounds of the tournament, unless somebody managed to get a tie with the number 1 player. Oh, okay. We have 3 players. Wait, where's 3 players with We have 3 players who have 3 wins, but Skybrand got a bye round. Actually, I'm gonna quickly check the battle between... watch the battle between Skybrand and the Oduro and see who won that battle, and then we can decide whether we need a final match for this tournament to decide like a final winner. Because if Skybrand won this one, I think we can also conclude the tournament on the note of Skybrand actually got enough wins to take the first place over Druigash. But let's see. Let us just quickly check this one. Skybrand Exiled versus Leodaro here playing as the Dark Elves. Wait, Dark Elves? Oh wait, no, this is... Oh, they didn't play Dark Elves. Okay, never mind. Okay, hold on. Let me just quickly arrange let me just quickly arrange something and see if we need a finals match between the 2 top players for a clear winner of the tournament, or if they're happy with the ranking. Alright, hold on. Give me a second. Just need to sort things out a bit. 1, 4. Sorry, just let me quickly sort out some sort out the tournament admin stuff, and see if we have a clear. Can we consider everything as a clear winner for this one? Alright, cool. I think we sorted that one out. So, yeah, congratulations to Scarbrand for winning today's tournament then. Actually, hold on. Forget I said that, because nobody heard what I said, so that you don't... no spoilers for the rest of the battles. But anyways, this one is Scarbrand versus Leodero, going with Nurgle versus Dark Elves. Now, wait, hold on. Why do I not hear any sounds? Alright, never mind, dude, there's sound. Alright, cool, I just paused it, that's why there's no sound. And I don't have any music on. Wait, we have music on, I just can't hear it because I was talking to myself. Or, there was no music on earlier? Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah. Nurgle versus Dark Elves here. Both players are just playing a practice match as Leodero signed up late, so, as in checked in late, so he didn't get to join in the first round of 20 with brackets, but still, these factions... It's still a good practice match, right? While everyone is waiting for the next round. Anyways, that's why both players are not playing their faction of choice in this tournament. Instead, Scarbrand going with Nurgle. Wait, Scarbrand did go for Nurgle, I think. Hold on. Yes, Scarbrand... Yeah, he did play Nurgle. But Leodero went for Dark Elf, so there's that. Yeah, anyways, that doesn't matter. Scarbrand going with Nurgle, a front line of Marauders of Nurgle, with Nurglings mixed in, and some few units of Chaos Warhounds, the Rotting Riders, and Rot Knights. So some regenerating, elite cavalry, anti-large armor piercing, and in the skies, double Death's Head like drones, Angels of Decay with extra ammo, and the regular ones with only 10 shots. Now on the other side, for the Dark Elves, a line of Bleak Swords, and backed up by some Dark Shards, and a bunch of Scourge Runner Chariots, and a couple Cold One Knights on right flank, and 2 more on the other side. Zarkan / Malice leading the army. We all know this is Malice, but he will transform into Zarkan later. And caster-wise... Where's the caster? Is there no caster on the field? Oh wait, no, there's a Beast caster right here. Sorcerers of Peace with wait, what? They forgot their spells! Oh no! Oh no, that is unfortunate. Oh no, I made something like I made a mistake like that before. So I empathize with him a lot. Because like you just have a lot of magic coming in and you can't use them. That is just unfortunate. Black Arc Corsairs in front line, providing a nice armored anti-infantry line there. Oh, Kugav Plaguefather leading the Nurgle army, by the way. And already like the explosive Nurglings are being launched towards those dark shards, really trying to wreck down those missile infantry before they can do any damage to Kugav's big, massive, oversized hitbox. Just launching rocks, just launching stuff over. And the dark shards are already down to half health. Very painful damage there. Oh no, the Scourge Runner chariots are on fire at will, and they're launching their precious shots onto the enemy chaff infantry. They direly need to conserve their ammo and just leave them to shoot at the Death's Head plague drones or Kugav Plaguefather himself, because there's nothing else you can use to kill off the large targets. Finally, they're switching their targets and starting to poke down Kugav Plaguefather. Well, of course, being Kugav, he has Fleshy Abundance, he has Fecundity to heal himself up, and he's ready to just drag this fight out. Really trying to snipe out the Dark Shards from afar. Now the Rot Knights are coming in, the Rotting Riders closing in and getting shot in the face by a bunch of Scourge Runner chariots. The problem is the Koan Knights are really much lagging behind. They are not in place to intercept the Rotting Riders. And they're quickly catching up to the Scourge Runner chariots, being hit by Demon's Curse, so they are backing up for now. No, the Death's Head are closing in, trying to maybe get some Death's Head shots out, but oh, looks like they have a better target, trying to work down Malas as soon as possible. Koan Riders are coming over to reinforce, while over here the Death's Head are putting some hurt into the Koan Cavalry, and also Kugav also switching his target over to the Koan Knights. Rotting Riders here charging into the Koan Knights and absolutely obliterating them on the charge. And the Scourge Runner's fire support is not changing this fight at all. As, yeah, things are not going well for the Koan Knights as they are outclassed by those Rotting Riders. Malas is helping out, but it is not changing the outcome of the battle at all. While the Scourge Runners are a little bit distracted by the Angels of Decay. Trying to shoot them as they close in, but missing quite a few shots, wasting some more precious ammo. Dark Shards are moving up. And Koan Cavalry are just too distracted on the other side of the battlefield here, getting shot by various missiles, too distracted to help out the Scourge Runners on the other side. Scourge Runner Chariots, the only thing remaining on the field that has the capability of taking down Kugav, outside of maybe, that's a big maybe, Malas Darkblade and Zarkan. Yeah, Laduro really needs to keep these Scourge Runners, these Skirmishing Cavalry alive, Skirmishing Chariots alive, but oh no! The Koan Knights were just a bit distracted to go deal with the Rot Knights, and that means they are they're not there for the Scourge Runners. One of them has been chased down by the Angels of Decay, and then also Hounds are following up, and the other two are also dropping in leadership. This is not going great for the Dark Elves for sure, but at least they have cleaned up the enemy infantry there with their own superior Bleak Sword, Black Arc Corsairs and whatnot, but the Koan Knights are taking more and more damage in this kind of prolonged fight. And now there are some Rotting Riders ready to charge them from behind. Yep, they are terrified away because I think the Rotting Riders, yeah, they do have terror themselves. And more shots launched by Kugav. Something needs to be done about Kugav. Maybe send in the cast over just to distract him in melee, even probably what might be worth it, just to silence him, preventing him from keep shooting up those valuable cavalry. You don't have much, there's not much Koan Cavalry left on the field. Only one of them left, and then the other ones are pretty much dealt with. Oh no, and the Hounds are now free to harass the Scourge Runner Chariots with nothing to stop them. Yeah, I think the Dark Elves are in a pretty bad situation right now. Getting blasted by Kugav and dragged into melee fights, getting charged from all sides. Death's Heads are raining down from above, doing a big chunk of HP damage to them, and yeah, Kugav is still very much healthy. The infantry is not a concern for him. He has that Mortis engine, in fact, to drain everything down or just blast stuff in melee. I guess the bigger problem is Darken, or more specifically Malice and then Darken. Just guaranteeing both units can heal cap themselves, unless, of course, Malice got routed before he was able to transform into Darken. But either ways, the Scourge Runners are not long for this. Well, one of them has been chased off the map, the other is also extremely tattered down to 2 models. And this one is still fairly fine, but they are down to less than half ammo. So I feel like at this point it is only Malice Darkblade who can carry this game on his back. The Sorceress of Beast really doing nothing here, not that she has anything better to do. But if she could have just run towards Kugav and drag him into melee, that would have been really helpful as well, just to stop him from shooting, right? But either way, right now, Rotting Riders are very healthy, a bunch of Killers Warhounds are ready to just chase off scattered Dark Elf troops. And all the Scourge Runners are down. These ones are probably not coming back. Extremely close to white line. Yeah, they're probably just gonna run off. And not much health left for them either. And then the Devs have earned back some substantial value, shooting up all kinds of expensive Dark Elf units. The Cohen Cavalry, the Scourge Runner Chariots, left, right, and center. Devs are just such a great damage burst, damage dealer, if they can get their hands on the right unit. They're not like Poison Wing Globes that deletes infantry in seconds, but those damage do add up a lot. Each missile does a lot of damage, and yeah. Now the Nurgle Mobility are free to just run down everything on the infantry department of the Dark Elves, while Kugav just chilling on the capture point. He's just chilling there. Darken has been transformed just to get him out before army losses hit, but I think it is still a rather premature transformation, because you want to drag out the Malice face as long as possible to get as much value out of him as possible, and then transform into the Unbreakable Darken, where he will just fight to his death. But yeah, right now surrounded by Rushing Riders, he is not enjoying it whatsoever. The Rushing Riders have anti-lock, have armor piercing, have ward save of 15%, just like the Bretonnian Grail Cavalry. Now, Darken is getting some good damage done, but he is taking a lot of damage in the same time by these elite riders. We're just gonna fast forward a bit more here as the Devs are just chilling in the skies, maybe putting in a few more shots onto Darken and working his health down. Yeah, everything is army losses for the Dark Elves. It's just Darken, Unbreakable, and just chilling in there, trying to hang on a little bit longer with that Reaper. With the Reaper of Souls to get some health back. But either ways, in the end, it is just not enough for him to bring this battle back, as Kugav himself is joining an assault against him, along with the Rotting Rider support. And yeah, hold on. Do I have everything downloaded? Just want to make sure I have all the replays downloaded, and then we can cast everything on the stream. And yeah, GG to both players. That was a very strong performance from Kugav here, deleting everything, and of course the Devs head doing so much damage to anything they touch. Koan Riders, Scourge Runner Chariots, even Malice Darkblade himself. And quite unfortunate that the Sorcerers forgot to bring any spells. I guess they just ran out of funds and forgot to add the spells back. And yeah, very powerful. Yeah, these Rot Knights just outclass the poor Koan Cavalry. Even if Koan Cavalry is better these days, they're still fighting a self-regenerating elite anti-lodge cavalry with that also debuffs them with poison and whatnot. So yeah, that is gonna be GG for both sides. We're gonna move on to the next battle. Actually, let me just quickly type out. An announcement on the tournament channel first. Oh. That's a lot of deaths head on the field. Alright, cool. Yeah, made the announcement about the tournament outcome, and then we can go back to casting. But yeah, the devs had doing so much damage to everything, basically won Scarbrand the day. We're gonna delete that. Except we have, Drugash versus Malo Morgan, who is, playing as Tinge. Vampirates versus Tinge. Let's see what happens here. Drugash going with a very classic Vampire Rush build. A bunch of zombie mobs, 5 of them the pistol mobs, 2 Felbets, and just ton of monsters, 2 Mongols. I seem to see a lot more Mongols on the battlefield these days. Perhaps they are being recognized as a pretty decent monstrous infantry unit now. Having the ability to self-heal with the hunger and anti-infantry bonus, terror, and all that. Hold on, let me just slow it down. But at the same time, there's also animated hulks for some mass to push enemy down, and yeah, and a bunch of gun crabs. Very tanky with a pistol, with a handguns or shotguns to counter shoot any units nearby, and yeah, pistols are just gonna fire at the, are just gonna shoot up a bunch of blue horrors, I assume. Anyways, Felbets in the skies, and leading the army is a Vampire Fleet Admiral with anti-large pole arms, with Invocation of Nahek and Gaze of Nagash and Drown Undead. On the other side of the battlefield, the Tinge army is going for a melee focus attempt instead. Zangors, and the 7th Claw Regiment of Renowned Aspiring Champions, a lot of Zangors actually. Zangors are actually really good into a lot of box action, actually. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, having that Tinge barrier to absorb enemy missiles and just charge into melee and cut down the enemy chaff. They have some pretty decent aggressive stats, and on the flanks, some Chaos Knights of Tinge are providing that mobility support. So Grinder for a bit of long range fire and also sniping out monstrous targets, I suppose. Exalted Hero of Tinge supporting Karos Fate Weaver in the skies with a Gaze of Fate, Oracle of Fate for damage resistance, Gaze of Fate for lockdown, Scroll of Destiny for the reserves increase, and let's see, Blue Fire of Tinge and Tinge Firestorm. A lot of damaging spells here. He's gonna be, Karos is just gonna act like a mobility artillery now, and now trying to start sniping out the enemy spell support. Of course, Vampire Fleet Admiral can still heal himself back up as long as he's engaging in melee and able to cast Invocation of Nahek, right? So I don't think he's gonna go down anytime soon. Even if his HP is getting low, he can just Invocation of Nahek himself back, but not the same can be said for the animated hulks, because they're definitely on a lower priority for healing than the Vampire Fleet Admiral, and they are now under fire from the Soul Grinder. Although, it seems like he's switching his targets, maybe? Doing a bit of kiting, perhaps? I'm not sure. But yeah, Exalted Hero of Tinge jumping in, trying to get a sneaky stab. Let's see, more shots coming in. This time, Blue Fire going after the Night Terrors. Not doing a whole lot of damage, though. Probably want to shoot at a different target, maybe? Maybe. Vampire Fleet Admiral dropping in a pistol mob. A little bit of a premature summon, I believe, because the Soul Grinder can simply walk away from the pistol shots. We're just gonna fast forward here as both sides are doing a little bit of just trying to test out each other's strength. And Karos just biding his time, doing a little spell kiting as well. It is on Conquest, so spell kiting is legal. The summon pistol wall has been knocked over by a charge from the Chaos Knights. But the Chaos Knights themselves are taking quite a bit of damage. The gun crabs are responding to their charge as well. All the gunfire are getting added in. and they're now starting to take damage. They don't have any healing, so any damage on them is permanent. Oh, Team Firestorm unfortunately casted onto this pirate deck and gunnery mob that noticed the cast and quickly walked away. Quickly walking and zombies are not exactly the word combos I'm expecting to use, but indeed quite a nice response from Jurugash here, noticing the cast and just quickly retreating those units. We're just gonna go back and fast forward again as the battle's kind of dragged out. So we're just gonna see, hope for a quicker resolution of the battle. Like both sides, Kairos just continues to kite from the team player side. Finally, Dangors exposing themselves, charging out of the forest, and now try to get through the enemy front line, seeing that there's only pretty much a few zombies blocking their advance. Dangors have no issue breaking through zombies at all, but the problem is the monsters takes a little bit more time, especially if they're gun crabs that have high armor and a lot of HP. So yeah, the Exalted Hero is gonna dive down. Even Kairos is gonna dive down. Dangors are now fighting Lamprey's Revenge, which is not great for them, but at least they're tying down a very expensive unit. The problem is that the Night Terrors are now free to roam the backfield. There are only so many siege units. There's not a lot they can do to free up any resources and save those save those Chaos Knights from the pursuit of the Night Terrors, who do have the Chill Aura, which slows down enemy units when they're nearby. So you can see the Chaos Knights are now down to 49 speed, which the Night Terrors can actually catch up to with their 51 speed. And yeah, at least the infantry on the Vampire side is slowly crumbling to the charge of the Dangors. Now the Dangors are trying to intrude into the back line. The problem is that most of the values of Vampire Coast are in their monsters. The infantry are just chaffed to buy more time, so the monster can do the work here. Just like here, Chaos Knights are caught by the Night Terrors and the Fellbats. Probably they should have just did a counter charge against the Mongols earlier, when they still have the chance to charge. Just trying to duke it, work them down in melee. Since Chaos Knights of Tinge are pretty tough in melee, and they probably could have tried to outtrade the Mongols in melee on a one-on-one basis. Oh, there's a tier 3 siege bombardment, trying to slaughter anything in the vicinity of the Vampirate's army, but unfortunately, some of these monsters are quite scattered, so not exactly killing them immediately. One of them got locked down by the Gaze of Fate, so the gun crabs took quite a bit of damage, but unfortunately, it's not as devastating as I would expect. Surely because also one of the animated hulks managed to walk out of the casting area. Anyways, the Dangors and the Aspiring Champions are doing some really good work against the enemy army in melee. The problem is the mobility side is a little bit lacking for the Tinge army. Especially that, and now both of the Mongols are able to surround the Chaos Knights with pistol mob support, and they're just dragging down that Tinge cavalry. Maybe they start up to the Severed Claw to carry this game here, as they are a powerful melee unit. That I don't think any of these Vampire units can take them down in a one-on-one fight. Yeah, the problem is that the rest of the Siege army is just not doing too hot right now, taking more and more damage in the process. At least the most expensive stuff, Kairos, Soul Grinder, and the Severed Claw are relatively healthy, and also the Exalted Hero as well. Another Siege Firestorm, unfortunately not doing a whole lot of damage again. So yeah, it's a bit of a random vortex spell, and you need like a good spread of unit, good concentration of unit near the casting zone to actually do any reliable damage. But yeah, there's just not a lot of this kind of opportunities. But yeah, overall the Severed Claw doing a ton of team's work here. Lamprey's Revenge are getting cut down in melee by these elite halberds, alongside with some help from the Lamprey's Revenge. But the Chaos Knights are being chased out. Balance of Heart is still in favor of Siege though, because Kairos is still very much healthy. The key units are healthy, but now the pistol mobs are turning around and start firing and working down the enemy. And there's more healing coming in for the Vampirates. Yeah, we're gonna fast forward here once again. It's a bit of a grind. Both sides are just throwing their units into melee and trying to duke it out. And all the single entities are quite busy on Team's side, while the vampires are trying to use their monsters to tie down the enemy single entities and work through their HP. Oh wait, where's the Vampire Fleet Admiral is still in there and still very much healthy, and he has the melee armor piercing to break through the armor of the Severed Claw, and the Severed Claw are taking damage as well, fighting a lot of anti-infantry armor piercing themselves. But the problem is, can they drag this on? I think they can actually. The Tzeentch army has no way to capture the point anymore. So it is pretty much a matter of whether the vampires can hold on until the end of capture. Just deny Tzeentch from the point long enough and secure a ticket win. The Guiding Crabs are holding on fine. The Vampire Fleet Admiral is also being very healthy. He's not gonna army loss anytime soon unless he starts taking a bunch of shock damage. Like, all their armies are pretty much done for. To my surprise. I guess the zombies really didn't hold up against the Zangors. Zangors is spectacular, just cutting through everything, leaving only the monsters on the field. But the Severed Claw are the ones taking care of the monsters, so yeah, that's fine. That's a nice work distribution among them, and in the end, they managed to drag the battle long enough to get that ticket win, holding on to the point long enough here. For the army performances here, the Zangors didn't do a whole lot of damage, cutting through a lot of chaff, but that's about it. While the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, being constantly hounded by the Morghuls, somehow they still managed to earn back quite a bit of value, almost earning back their worth. But yeah, MVP for Tzeentch here, Severed Claw, and pretty much just Severed Claw, cutting through all the crabs. They killed off the Lamprey's Revenge, which is a tough as hell unit to deal with in the late game because they heal. And the Severed Claw dealt with them, so so the Vampire Coast don't have that kind of self-regenerating unit, self-regenerating anchor in the late game. Basically cut off one more source of balance of power from the Vampire Coast side, but in the end it is just not quite enough to kill off everything on the Vampire Coast end, because they were not able to capture the point to drag on the battle. And in the end, it was a ticket victory for the Vampires. Very well played from both players there, and nice micro with the Exalted Hero, very aggressively trying to like take down the enemy monsters, knowing that this is the only reliable mobile anti-large asset you have there. Just sending him to take a few hits into the Night Terrors and then move on to Gun Crabs and whatnot. And yeah, getting quite a bit of damage value over the course of battle, definitely earning back their worth. While on the other side, Vampire Coast, yeah, cleaned up quite well. Cleaned up the enemy infantry quite well with all the Fellbat and monster spam. Just that unfortunately, the Savage Claw, it was quite a tough nut to crack for the Vampires there, not having anything specifically targeting elite infantry. They did sever a bunch of crab claws indeed. Indeed. Is he gonna win on points? Yeah, pretty much. Mallow Morgan, you might want to put on speed 3 at the beginning. Yeah, I probably should have done that earlier. It was quite a slogfest. All right, that was a GG for both sides. Surely Malice will carry just as he did versus the Greenskins. Miles almost tried to carry against the Greenskins, but he couldn't. It's too much muscles. Too much muscle for him to work through. There's no way the freaking Dark Elf Twink can deal with the manly Chad muscles of the Greenskins. Although Greenskins are gender neutral, their gender is mushrooms, so I don't think they have anything. They don't have any genders there. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next battle. We have Vampires versus Dark Elves. Let's hop in. The Road Flies are so OP drones. Yeah, the Plague drones. I mean, it's not the Plague drones that are OP. I think the powerful bit is just the Death's Head. It is just the Death's Head that are good. Like, everything else about the Plague drones are shit. Their melee sets are kind of mediocre. They're quite glass cannon themselves, having low armor, and yeah, it is just
being able to fly around and do some insane damage with the dev's head makes them decent. Nobody brings the regular plate drones for a reason. And yeah. Anyways, now for the army builds, we're seeing once again Malus / Darkan on the battlefield. What is up with everyone in Darkan today? But yeah, for the Dark Elves, going with a line of Bleak Swords, a second line of Witch Elves. Once again, we're seeing some Kane influence here. Malus Darkblade on the leadership side, and also Doomfire Warlocks. Some light and very deadly cavalry. And there's some skirmishing department as well. 3 whole units of Shades with dual weapons, 1 more regular Shades. So a lot of deadly armor-piercing fire, and if they can get their hands on Count Noctilus, he's fucking dead. Being such a large hitbox and gains so many armor-piercing missiles with quite good weapon strength, missile strength as well. So if they ran out, and on top of that they have dual weapons, so if they ran out of ammo, they can just run in and start cutting down zombies. Even if Noctilus drops a zombie summon on them, because they have dual weapons, they can quickly slice through whatever chaff they're stuck with and just break out of the surround. Anyways, for the Vampire, it's the front line of deckhand mobs, second line of gunnery mobs with hand cannons, third line of handgun mobs, protected by animated hulks, and more Night Terrors and Lamprey's Revenge. In this guy, some bomber bats, but they have to be careful. They don't want to get too close to those deadly Shades. And Count Noctilus leading the army with Moondial, Drown Dead, Invocation of the Hag, and Reef Storm, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma as well, which is a very good spell against enemy cavalry, or in this case, against the Shades and Doomfire Warlocks as well. Just wanted something small but tanky in this case that doesn't get gunned down in 5 seconds, and bonus lightsaber fits that build. Bonus lightsaber, yeah, that works. Although, may I suggest Count Noctilus? Oh wait, no, not Count Noctilus. Oh shit. Shit. No. The Kraken Lord, shit. Lokir Felhat. Shit, I forgot his name. How did I forget about Lokir? Anyways, yeah, I feel like there's 100 legendary lords. It's a bit hard to keep track of everyone sometimes. Anyways, Count Noctilus deployed quite far ahead of his army, so that puts him right in the range of all these Shades with dual weapons and just get absolutely showered with armor-piercing bolts. He tried to summon a zombie unit against the Shades, but they're quickly just retreating away from them. And now the Shades are just targeting hand cannons and trying to whittle them down. Count Noctilus himself also getting targeted by the Shades, not retreating far enough away from those AP fire, and he's now quickly down to half health. Yeah, things are rough for Count Noctilus. If there is a deck gunner unit, it might be a bit different, but right now the Shades are just bullying Count Noctilus. We're even dropping in a Brave Storm just to try to thin out some of these Shades. Count Noctilus really hates them so far. At least Count Noctilus cannon is doing some good damage, and hand cannons are firing back with handguns helping as well. So the Shades are not doing all the damage without paying a price, but they're definitely earning back. They're definitely getting the better end of the trade here. Oh, nice shot from Count Noctilus, killing 8 whole units of Doomfire Warlocks and then some more Dark Elves, the Shades on the ground. Oh no, these hand cannons are lining up too beautifully for a burning head. One of them got completely deleted. They're probably going to crumble anytime soon. Yep, straight into the dust, mixing with the sand on the ground. Now Bleak Swords are charging into the front line, trying to cut through the enemy deckhand mobs and get to the hand cannons there. Malus Darkblade also advancing while the Shades are flanking around. Oh no! The Shades having their sides facing towards Count Noctilus, just getting a great penetration shot from the side and taking a lot of damage. Though, right, ooh, there's some Witch Elves charging in, but did they turn on Witch Brew? They did. Use up Witch Brew, and but now they're no longer have that kind of damage output. Now the Night Terrors are trying to go after the Shades, but here comes the Doomfire Warlocks trying to screen them out and save the skirmishing fire. Bleak Swords probably want to start marching towards the gunnery mob and just shut down the pistols and allow the Shades to turn around and fire again. Count Noctilus is still half health, and but at least he's not taking any more damage, so that's a plus. And some animated hosts manage to flank around and try to get to the side of the Bleak Swords. More Bleak Swords are being thrown into combat from reserves. And overall, things are looking quite even so far. Actually, a pretty good scrap from both sides. Soul Blight onto the Soul Blight. Bound Soul Blight from the Doomfire Warlocks onto the Zombie Pride deckhand mobs there, just dropping their damage output for a bit. Not that I don't think it matters much against these Shades who are just overwhelmed by a ton of chaff and Mongol, so that is not great for them. Balance of power is slightly in favor, ever so slightly in favor of the Vampires, as they are not able to finish off Count Noctilus, and a lot of their Shade units are being dragged into melee. Of course, I mean, they're decent melee combatants, but when they're dealing with two whole units of zombies and the Night Terrors, it's too much for even for them. And now the Shades at the back here being harassed by the Bleak Swords, by the Animated Hulks, also taking more and more damage. The gun bats, because all the Shades are being knocked out for now, being disrupted, they're free to just move up and start bombarding the Dark Elf infantry, helping the Vampires, helping the Animated Hulks to win the fight in the front line and start moving on to the back line there. Malice Dark Blade trying to go after Count Nautilus and kill him, but he also put himself in the crossfire range of a hand cannon unit and some handguns, down to half health in a couple volleys already. At least he's trying to push through the zombies and trying to get to Count Nautilus, I guess, but the rest of his army is not holding up well. A lot of them are just running away with nothing to really save them in this kind of dire situation, and there are still two whole units of gunnery mobs available on the Vampire site, always ready to take down Malice and Darkin. And yeah, he has transformed into Darkin, noticing that his army is kind of falling apart, trying to get some unbreakable anchor on the battlefield. But hand cannons are still firing, and oh, this is probably one of the few times where I see Darkin getting getting killed while he's still on the battlefield. Oh no! I think the self-damaging aspect kills him. I think you just killed him with the damage trickling, with the last bit of HP finished off by that. Majority of the damage are done by the hand cannons. You can see how deadly they are. If they get a volley of shot into your unit, they're just gonna get deleted. Just absolute menace on the battlefield. Like the Iron Hail Gunners or the blunderbusses. Oh no, not really blunderbusses, but like the Iron Hail Gunners. Extreme damage at shorter range. Just wanted something small. Loki for hot. Nobody brings regular plague drones. Glances at Scarbrand. He didn't bring regular plague drones though, did he? Like, he brought a bunch of Death's Head, no? Burning Head collide into two more units. Yeah, the Burning Head. A lot of nice Burning Heads at the back line though. 220 kills on the enemy chaff. Yeah, basically. Oh. The first Burning Head collided into two more units. Damn. Need to rewatch that actually. For the Dark Elves here, the Witch Elves unfortunately underperformed. They've fallen victim to a lot of gunfire, and also I think they charge into monsters, so not exactly the greatest engagement for them. The Dark Shards, the Shades could have done a lot more, but unfortunately being pressured off by enemy artillery, and I think they moved too close to the front line and with nothing to protect them from enemy monsters, so that could have been a problem that they didn't manage to avoid, and they just got dragged into combat and wasn't quite able to dish out all the damage. But yeah, Malice also not doing a whole lot of damage, mostly being shot to death by a bunch of Iron Hail Gunners. You brought some regular ones in your game? Oh, okay. And some Death's Head, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think I've seen your games yet. I only seen like the first round game, which is his bye round against Leodoro. So I haven't seen any of his other Nurgle games just yet. So I'm gonna check them out. Because I saw the unit cards, but I didn't see whether the plague drones have ammo on them. So yeah, I'm just gonna check them out later. But right now, Count Nautilus did okay, but mostly the damage were done by those, not even those, just that one zombie pirate deckhand mob with hand cannons, getting 1,600 gold of damage value. It's double their worth. And then these handguns also did some really good damage over time, poking down the enemy shades. I think they managed to shot some shades throughout the battle, and yeah. Night Terrors got some great damage, duking out with enemy infantry, and yeah, I'm just gonna quickly rewatch this battle, just to rewatch that glorious Burning Head, I suppose. Give me a quick second there, and also just spot what the Witch Elves have been doing earlier. Yeah, just a funny coincidence, because normally you're right, but I just seen them for the first time in forever today. Okay, I do am looking forward to see them in battle as well. Like, I brought the Plague Drones maybe once or twice in a very long time ago and just never again. They just disappointed me pretty hard. Alright, the Burning Head. Where's the first Burning Head? Come on. Here comes the Burning Head, maybe? It's almost time. Burning Head, 1 unit down. Oh no! This poor unit of Iron Hail hand cannons. Nope, never mind. It is the handguns in just that getting deleted. Outright deleted by the Burning Head. That was unfortunate for the zombie pirates. But yeah, it's just the handguns just showering those witch elves with pistol bullets. Oh no, the witch elves were stuck on their own troops. Like they were stacked up against on top of their own bleak swords, and a lot of units were just stuck behind the bleak swords, unable to get contact with the enemy infantry. Yeah, that was unfortunate. So like Witch Brew isn't exactly maximized in that case. You want the units to spread out and just have a clean engagement against the enemy target before activating the Witch Brew. Oh well, it is what it is. And yeah, they did all they could to try and win the game, just not quite enough. And the Shades were not shooting. Yeah, the Shades were at the back there, just not doing a whole lot. Oh, they did manage to do some okay damage to Emperor's Revenge, I guess. But this was a mess of an engagement. Even the Shades got dragged into melee, which is not great for them. There's a lot of valuable ammo they could have used. They could have earned way more money than just 1,100 gold there. So yeah, that was unfortunate. Like the Shades were not sitting at a safe position to dish out the damage, and there's not enough assets to protect them from monsters and yeah, from monsters and infantry summons especially. So yeah, there's that. Yep. Let's just delete that. Next up, Slaanesh versus Siege. Huh. Okay. Let's check this one out. Angel with Slaanesh with 5 units of Marauders, 3 Exalted Demonettes, 2 Exalted. Wait, these are Seekers or Seekers? These are Seekers, I think. Seekers of Slaanesh, 3 Marauder Javelins Horsemen, and 1 Azazel. On the other side for the Siege army here, you never see this guy here. Acolt. I totally forgot about his name. Acolt Hellbrass, alongside with a box of Marauder Spears, Blue Horrors, and Pink Horrors. One of them, the Sour Guts for the Pink Horrors. And that is just a Sorcerer Lord of Siege here, with Lord of Siege, with once again Siege Firestorm burning the blue fire of Siege. There's a sort of change for the Chaos Spawn summon, but at the same time he's also on the Chaos War Shrine, Giver of Arcane Glory. Nearby entity death will lead to an increase of Winds of Magic and also Spell Mastery. But yeah, it is an interesting tactic. I guess they're just expecting the Blue Horrors to die, and yeah. But otherwise, there are some Unbreakable Weird Spawn, Chaos Spawn with Armor Sundering, and yeah, magic damage being a Siege Spawn unit after all. And there's also Terror as a Regiment of Renown trait. The Severed Claw here providing a very elite anti-lodge armor piercing unit. Oh, there's also the Chromatic Abominations providing another source of chaff and also missile attacks. Acolt there being a very decent duelist, competent duelist, but I don't know if he's actually any good. He does have that Vigor, Refresh, and Healing to keep him in the fight for a long amount of time, and gives nearby units that melee reflection. Not sure how useful it is, but we shall see. Azazel himself coming in with one spell, I guess, a couple spells, Acquiescence, and of course the standard stuff, Pavane of Slaanesh. Blue fire already from, missing a lot of projectiles here. Quite unfortunate for Siege, but I feel like Blue Fire has been having some aiming issues and just missing quite a lot. So Azazel dodging most of the Blue Fire shot, but still taking quite some noticeable damage overall. Marauders of Siege are rushing into those blue hordes. The blue hordes probably are going to get slaughtered, but those blue hordes are just standing in front of the box. Interesting defensive from Matrix as well. Buying time for the Sour Guts, the Chromatic Abominations, and pink hordes to dish out the damage, while the Marauders are just at the back there, holding position and screening the enemy Javelin Cavalry. Frontline wise, the blue hordes are holding for now, having that guard mode. They're able to just start firing at the nearby units, even if their front rows are getting dragged into melee, as they still have dived into the back line, trying to silence at least completely silence one of the blue hordes. But A-Code is in here, trying to take down the Lord of the Slaanesh army. Blue hordes are holding on, still holding on fine, and the Spear Marauders of Slaanesh is faltering hard under all that Overwatch fire. Weird Spawn is trying to push back the enemy Marauders here, but that's going to expose themselves to a sandwiching charge from the Seekers, though the Seekers might be just avoiding them and trying to go for the back line of the Siege army instead. But right now the Weird Spawn are holding them, distracting them away, and a really nice Siege Firestorm onto this locked up unit of Exalted Demonists, and that is doing devastating damage to this elite unit of Demonic Infantry. Though there's some friendly fire, but I'm sure that's worth it. That is definitely worth it. Over here, Marauders are duking it out against the Marauders, though the Exalted Demonists are getting showered with pink and blue warp flames. So that means they're not long for this world, even if they manage to do a lot of damage against the enemy blue hordes. They're mostly just doing things against half, and it's not that consequential. The real break for Slaanesh, I guess, comes from these Seekers, trying to get through the enemy, circumvent enemy defenses, and now trying to pick apart this Siege box, getting those Seekers into the pink horrors. But the Sourguts are not going to be easy to take down. Every single Sourgut dying in melee means they're going to die and explode and deal damage to nearby enemy models there. So the Seekers are taking a lot of damage in return. The Seekers over here are doing a lot better with the help of the Exalted Demons, cleaving asunder these poor pink horrors. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Siege. How much Giver of Arcane? Fully charged the Giver of Arcane Glory, so they're gonna get a lot more power recharge right now. Just spamming out spells and Winds of Magic Regeneration. Now jumping into a fight against the Seekers. This might be a bit of a problem for them. Where's Eiko? Eiko needs to be in there to help this Sorcerer Lord out. And Savage Claw seems to have moved a little bit too far away from their friends. Now trying to regroup with the rest of the Siege army here. So the Marauders are still duking it out, but originally things were quite even, but unfortunately the Seekers are coming in to turn the tide and quickly deliver the hammering charge. So yeah, the Slaanesh definitely had a bit of a back foot earlier, but clawing back fairly well, compromising the defenses on the side and on the rear of the Siege box and getting to the backline, shutting down the enemy missiles. Sourguts are gone, pink horrors are gone. It is pretty much just the Seventh Claw trying to hold the line with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord and some summoned Chaos Spawns, which are too busy chasing off running away units instead of going into a fight to get out with some Slaanesh units. Like, if this was summoned in here, it would have been a lot more useful in just breaking down the enemy Javelins. Not Javelins, the enemy Marauders. Javelins are coming in to whittle down the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, though, so that was unfortunate. He's gonna go down and put the balance of power back into the middle for both sides. And yeah, so Exalted Demonists of Slaanesh are just gonna surround these poor Savage Claw, overwhelm them with armor-piercing damage as they are too busy distracted by the devoted Marauders. And more Marauders of Siege are coming back to help, but they're not going to do a whole lot against the Exalted Demonists. And yeah, the Lord is down for a team, being chased down by the Murder Horsemen with Javelins. And then it's down to Savacor and Eiko holding the line. I don't think they have what it takes to win out against all the Demonists, though, especially with the Savage Claw running low in leadership and HP. They did manage to beat... Oh, wait, hold on. Are they going to pull it back? No, they're just going to get hit by Fascination and getting drained down. And Javelin down as well, being shot from all sides. At least Eiko is going to try to hold the line, I guess, but still not great. Savage Claw getting constantly poked at by the Javelin kiting, even turning... Eiko really trying to... bring this one back with all his abilities, which is pretty much just one, the Thorn Aura. The Breath of Life is giving him some heal, passive heals, but he's struggling right now. He can't capture the point. He doesn't have anything to help him do that. He is taking a lot of damage surrounded by demons and getting drained as well. So that is going to be GG. That is going to be victory for the Slaanesh army here. Overwhelming the siege box, picking them apart very methodically from Angel. Marauders tying down the enemy front line and then trying to break through from the flanks with the Seekers and Demonids trying to deal with the enemy side defenses and then breaking into the back line, flanking around with Seekers and the Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, dragging those Sour Guts and Pink Horrors into combat as well and shutting down the siege firepower. Yeah, GG to both players. A-Cult tried his best, just not quite enough. Very beautiful Firestorm as well. Oh, excuse me. Doing a lot of damage to the enemy Demonids. So yeah, that is going to be another GG. Yeah, Demonids did a lot of damage. Especially the ones that managed to survive till the end and slowly grind down the poor Severed Claw, overwhelming them in melee fights. The others did okay, but mostly just that one Exalted Demonid hard carrying a lot of the parts of the battle, and then the Seekers and Marauder Horsemen earning back their worth. I felt like you are only to you're going to cast only my losses. If you have any wins in the future, like maybe this one, okay, that might be spoilers, but I'm just casting them by the order of me downloading everything, so that I just cast it from the oldest replay I receive and then work my way up. So there's that. Wait, did I haven't cast this one. Wait, did I? How did I skip? I accidentally skipped these two. Alright, gonna cast them as well. Ooh, Morathi versus Eltharion. Horny MILF versus a stalwart Batman. Who's gonna win? Well, let's see. Kurio here going with a Bleak Sword frontline with a Dark Shards. Wait. What are they called again? Hold on. The Bolt Fiends. Alright, front line of Dread Spears, and then backed up by some Bolt Fiends. Flanked by a ton of Koan Riders, Koan Knights, and then led by Morathi, and yeah, supported by a Master. The Master coming in with Colossal Strike, great for killing monsters, and Morathi herself, of course, so stellar. There's only so stellar, there's no other spells that are relevant, and she herself having a bunch of melee stat debuffs here. Enchanting Beauty -5 attack, another -5 from the Hot Render and the Dark Sword, which also reduces enemy melee defense. And yeah, that is a rather simple army. Trying to hold the line and let the Bolt Fiends do their thing, and then Koan Knights would have all the anti-lock cavalry row there, try to outtrade the High Elf cavalry and win the day. Now on the other side, for the High Elves, the front line of staunch line of spears, backed up by a bunch of Lothern Seaguard and another line of Eltharion Reavers, not Eltharion, Eltharion Reavers, and one single 5-1 in the forest. This is basically a staple for all High Elves builds now, simply because they are the only armor-piercing anti-large cavalry on their roster, and the High Elves need that. They God knows they need that. Everything else just trade horribly into other anti-large cavalry. Anyways, there are some Dark Riders in the forest as well, just hiding away, biding their time to jump onto the High Elf backline. Other than that, Eltharion himself coming with Apotheosis, Tempest to limit enemy aerial movement, which it happens to be quite well. Happens to quite suit this engagement since he has to deal with 2 flying units. And yeah, other than that, of course, it's Helm of Ivris. Oh wait, no. His Mistwalker Barrage, providing some really deadly damage. We saw how much it did to my Orc Barbarians in my own game. And also Helm of Ivris to keep units fighting the good fight. That is it for army builds. Oh wait, there's also a Frostheart Phoenix there, providing a bit of a monstrous presence. Lothern Seaguard are starting to shoot, but the double character is here. from the Dark Elf side managed to dodge most of those missiles, but what they can't dodge is a direct damage spell. Tempest, hitting both of them in each of their, like, who are closely against each other. So, yeah, both are being affected at the same time, both are taking damage, but oh, I forgot about the Medusa. The Siren of the Red Ruin plus the double anti-large armor-reducing melee attacks are putting a toll onto the Eltharion the Grim, putting him down to roughly half health. Loven Seaguard will be dissuading them from the pursuit, and yeah, just shooting some arrows towards the the Dark Elf position. Now they're trying to like focus down the Siren of the Red Ruin, who is just juking the arrow shots. And we're just gonna be waiting for a bit here. More Siren of the Red Ruin blasts against the spears, doing more and more damage. Both fiends also firing back, but unfortunately they're outranged by the Loven Seaguard and taking quite a bit of damage in the process. Probably should have just pushed up those Koan cavalry onto the flanks, and the infantry should have pushed up as well so that they can screen back the enemy archer fire. But anyways, finally both sides are clashing. Illyrian Reavers charging into Dread Spears, but not doing a whole lot of damage since they were braced. Loven Seaguard continues to fire, this time at the Siren of the Red Ruin, who is trying to just slaughter these spears. But unfortunately, she just constantly get staggered by the arrow fire, so that was not great for them. Oh no, I missed this engagement here. Koan Knights are caught out by the Fireborn. Eltharion the Grim here took a bunch of damage in the process as well, but the Fireborn managed to pull this one off with the help of the Frostheart Phoenix as well. The Dark Elf characters tries to come over here to bail out the Koan Cavalry, but unfortunately that was not happening. Wait, hold on. Both Koan Cavalry has been dealt with on the right. No, just one Koan Cavalry. The other Koan Cavalry has moved around and tried to do a bit of a hammer and anvil. But yeah, spears are holding the line from both sides. The flanks engagements are more decisive, as the double anti-large characters in disguise for the Dark Elves are trying to duke out against the Frostheart Phoenix. Eltharion the Grim is just staying in the safety of his Fireborn, protected by his anti-large elite bodyguards. But now 2 units of cavalry are jumping in, actually maybe 3. And including the Dark Riders, 1 full health Koan Knights and another half health Koan Knights, just trying to intercept these Fireborn cavalry, and on top of that, Soul Stealer draining the health of the Fireborn and Eltharion, and healing Morathi at the same time. Morathi really wants everything, all these elite cavalry to die, I guess, dropping in all those Soul Stealers and whatnot, but for now, at least, the Fireborn lives. Dread Spears are still duking it out against the enemy spears. Unfortunately, just not making a lot of headway in the process. Master and Morathi will be pushing back Eltharion. But yeah, things are looking quite messy right now. The Loven Seaguard are holding the line, even if they ran out of ammo like this one. They can just rush into melee like a regular spear unit, with less models, of course. But yeah, they're holding the line. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, they just have 30 less models than regular spear, so anyways. Dark Riders charging into Illyrian Reavers, and they're gonna win it because they simply have more HP, more models, and whatnot. Koan Knights psycho charging, but they are just gonna get dragged down in the middle of spears as well. While the Koan Riders are, at this point, all the Koan Riders are done for. Okay, no, maybe not this one. But yeah, balance apart is still being fairly even. Dark Elves still having a rather healthy Morathi and some Dark Riders, while Eltharion the Grim is getting quite low in health, and the Fireborn are also on the verge of death. I suppose they were just fighting too many Koan Cavalry all over the place and have been taking a lot of attrition damage without receiving proper heals. Eltharion is on his heal cap, now being forced to tangle with Morathi and her master again. He tries to run away, but unfortunately he's not running away fast enough and took a hit in the process. While the Fireborn, they are almost out of health, now surrounded by Dark Riders who are much healthier. Yeah, they are just struggling right now. Eltharion also taking more and more damage from the Soul Stealer. Decided he had enough. He's just gonna bail. And yeah, at this point, balance apart is in favor of the Dark Elves, since their lot is gone, and a lot of their heavy-hitting, expensive units are either on the verge of death or just not there anymore. Though, I would say the Dark Elves definitely have, still have a chance, I guess. Wait, no, wait, hold on. I feel like the balance of power is fraudulent. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit fraudulent. Like, Moravi might have a lot of HP left, but he can't grind through all these spears in melee. I guess that's what the Dread Spears are for. Anyways, we're just gonna fast forward here, as we just slowly watch each side grind the others to a halt. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. The High Elves threw in the towel. Either army losses hit or they just forfeited the game. As there's only a few Loathsome Seagull left, who did earn back quite a lot of value over the course of battle, mind you, but Altharian got taken down, the Firebond got taken down, and I guess if they manage to keep the Siren of the Red... but yeah, I feel like the High Elves had a chance in that one. Just keep the Loathsome Seagull alive long enough and whittle down everything from range, and then Morathi will have to force to fight them in melee and get dragged down in the wall of spears. It is not as staunch as a regular spearman unit, but it is still a staunch line of spears regardless, and Loathsome Seagull doing a lot of damage so far. They did manage to focus fire on the Medusa and did a lot, basically killed her. I don't know if they killed her, but definitely did the majority of damage on them, on the Medusa. Firebond also did well, while on the other side for the Dark Elves, Koan Knight did okay. And both Fiends did okay despite being tied down in melee rather early in battle. But yeah, Morathi, man, the Soul Stealers are so deadly. I think the Medusa shattered, but not sure. Maybe. I'm tempted to rewatch this, just to see what happened to the Medusa, and yeah, I'm just gonna rewatch this. Quick bit. Elves versus edgy elves. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly fast forward that. So bear with me for a second there. I stopped juking when I was moving my army forward, and she took a ton of damage at once from all the arrows. Yeah, Medusa herself was quite squishy with only 30 armor. I wish they had scaly skin, because like, the Medusa is supposed to be a stick and they have a lot of scaly skin. I guess not the upper body, but come on, man.
They're using magic.
Like, there's literally scales. I guess there's no skins on the majority on the front side of the Medusa, I guess. So that kind of explains, but yeah. Altharian took a lot of damage throughout the battle though, especially from the Bolt Fiends did some pretty good work, but yeah, they just got outshot by the enemy archer line. Should have just moved up the spears and try to screen back the enemy archers while keeping the Bolt Fiends back and safe. But yeah, the Siren of the Red Ruin forgot to dodge and just took a bunch of heavy damage. Soul Stealer onto this blob, and Koan Riders try to surround the Altharian the Grim. Once again, I feel like a little bit premature drop with Altharian, I suppose, from Lodero. That's probably the problem there. Like, Altharian is strong, but he's not like a tanky lord. His soul tankiness comes from using all the apotheosis on himself, and you don't want him to be the ones receiving a bunch of punishment. He's not built for that. Don't do that. I guess he does have the... Oh wait, no, he doesn't have Fang Sword in this one, so he doesn't have the physical resistance. The Fang Sword helps with the physical resistance, but if you didn't bring it, then you're a bit screwed in that regard. Yeah. And yeah, the Siren of the Red Ruin just got outshot by a bunch of archers, I suppose. And more Soul Stealers on the side. Not quite able to finish Altharian though. But yeah, that is going to be it for this one. I'm just going to delete the replay as well. But yeah, the Medusa is certainly shattered by the rain of arrows. I've seen that one. Korn versus Slanesh. One is corny, one is horny. who wins, right? But yeah, for the corny side, we have a very typical build here. Double powerful single entities here. Scarbrand the Exiled himself with the Bloodbrute Behemoth, supported by a couple Minos with great weapons. And this time, the blob build of Khorne is even better in the form of the Bloodwake Berserkers, able to punch down everything that Slaanesh throws at them. They have magic damage, they have armor sundering to fight enemy armored infantry like the Chosen or Warriors. They have armor piercing, they have elite melee stats, they have immune to flanking, so they are not gonna get flanked as hard. They receive no penalties when being flanked. I guess the double charge bonus still works from Devastating Flanker, but all the attacking into the rear is still gonna be mitigated by the melee defense stuff there. Otherwise, actually slow down. Fleshhounds of Khorne on the far side, just providing some mobility, and that's it for the Khorne army. Fairly straightforward blob build. For the Slaanesh army, a front line of Chosen, and more Chosen in Chaos Warriors, 1 Demonids of Slaanesh, 2 Demonids, and 1 more Chaos Warriors with Hell Scourges. They did bring the Slaanesh altar for that Mortis Engine effect, but I don't know how good that's gonna be, the giver of torturous glory. They need entity deaths to activate, but there's not a lot of entities to kill, and they also need to be near a melee fight to get those recharges going. So that might be a rough one. Ooh, especially when the Bloodbrute Behemoth is just straight up ignoring the enemy front line, going straight for that Chaos Sorcerer on the War Shrine, knowing that if the War Shrine is taken down, they don't have to worry about the Mortis Engine anymore. Even Scarbrand is in here, just going beelining straight for that poor Chaos Sorcerer at this point. Prince Sigvald leading the army here, and the Bloodwake Berserker is starting to do their thing. Supported by Marauders of Khorne. They are just cleaving apart enemy infantry. These poor demons taking the brunt of the damage, while the War Shrine just jumps straight into the middle of this fight. Oh no, this is not where it wants to be. It should be in this little blob here against Marauders, not against freaking Bloodwake Berserkers, especially when the double monsters are coming in. Oh, that is going to be painful. Great splash damage from the double single entities as well, just pummeling through those Chosen infantry. Chosen managed to break through. Yeah, the Chosen is easily breaking through the Marauders. The problem is this blob of Bloodwake Berserker and single entity is pummeling the poor Slaanesh infantry here. Scarbrand especially, the charge impact animation can be quite deadly if he is delivering his charges properly. And on the far side there, the Minotaurs of Khorne don't really have a good target to fight because there's no like large targets for them to beat down, so they're a bit lost in the sauce, I suppose. But one of the Minos took a lot of damage. Not sure what though. Oh, they were just fighting in the middle of a bunch of warriors, I suppose. Just getting grind down throughout the long process. But overall, the Minos are just bullying these poor Chaos Warriors with the Fleshhounds flanking. And over here, Scarbrand and the Bloodbrute Behemoth continues to cycle charge, while the Sorceress of Slaanesh really struggles to do any damage here. Can't even fully charge his giver of torturous glory, quite unfortunately. Getting smacked by 2 deadly single entity fighters. So he has to run, while leaving the rest of his minions to die and charge up his shrine, I guess. He's getting there, but he's also not getting a whole lot of damage value, unfortunately. Like, the units that are vulnerable to this kind of Mortis Engine drain are infantry. Not big single entity monsters that can squeeze through enemy front line and just pummel the poor Chaos Sorcerer. And on top of that, Bloodbrute Behemoth have self-heal, so he is just ideal to stand in front of the Slaanesh Shrine and just keep punching it down, counteracting the direct damage with his own combat healing. The strength from flesh. Well, over here, Scarbrand is just busy beating down some poor Hellscourge warriors with the help of some Minos. So yeah, I think we can fast forward this one. It's just going to be a blob fight of Scarbrand cycle charging, and the Bloodwake Berserkers thriving in melee combat. Almost 3,000 gold worth of damage value now. 3,000 now. Just thriving in melee combat, surrounded on all fronts, is not a problem for them if they just keep beating down whatever in front of them. And even the Chosens are running out of health and leadership. Sigvald is fighting, and he is gonna fight for a while, but he's not unbreakable. So if the rest of his army goes, he might just go as well, especially when the Khorne army is still being very much healthy, crushing them in the balance of power. I like seeing myself deleting strong stuff. Yeah, everyone likes that too. Not you specifically, but everyone likes seeing themselves deleting strong stuff. But yeah, that Bloodwake Berserker did so much work. Just standing there in the middle of a bunch of elite infantry and just thriving. Enjoying that slaughter around them. Minos not doing a lot of damage because they were just fighting infantry mostly, so not a lot to say about them. I guess they were just stuck in the middle of a bunch of enemy infantry and took a lot of damage as a result. Sigvald did okay. Earned back his worth, I'm sure, but overall it is the Bloodbrute Behemoth and Bloodwake Berserker and Skarbrand the Exile carrying the game, with Fleshhounds chasing off routed units. They did so much damage with the cycle charging, the impact damage, the splash damage with the collision, and also the Bloodwake Berserker pummeling everything in front of them. Is that Warshrine's Mortis engine also affected by Khorne's spell resistance? Not entirely sure. You might want to test it out yourself, but it's hard to test it out. But I don't think that's a main problem here, because if you're fighting Khorne, chances are you want Mortis engine, as long as you're confident in keeping your Mortis engine alive. Because Khorne is not great at taking down single entities unless they are trying to force path their big single entities like Skybrand and Bloodbrute Behemoth over to your single entity then. So they don't have any missiles to take down the big constructs, the big monsters with Mortis engine. So all they can do is just try to fight it down in melee. But if you have enough stuff to keep the Mortis engine alive against Khorne, they will have no choice but to sit there and take the damage. But yeah, anyways, Slaanesh did some good work here, but unfortunately this blob build did not have the protection against single entity sniping from Bloodbrute Behemoth and Skarbrand. So there goes the War Shrine, and all of the infantry also take a lot of heavy damage from both the Minos and the Bloodbrute Behemoth and Bloodwake Berserkers. Alright, that is it for this one. Khorne versus Slaanesh. Done. Now we have Slaanesh versus Siege. Have we seen this one? Yeah, we have seen this one. I just didn't delete it, I don't think. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Siege versus Khorne, Nurgle versus Vampire Coast, and High Elves versus Slaanesh. That's a grudge match. Alright. Nurgle versus Khorne. Next up, we have Skarbrand the Exile facing Khorne, very ironic for him, versus Electric Spinish. Skarbrand here going with Tamerken? Really? Whoa. Tamerken! Haven't seen... I mean, you don't usually see this guy, but sometimes you do. But wait, hold on. There's no caster. There's no caster. That is weird, I would say. Tamerken, the Megalord, leading the army with no caster, Rotting Rider supporting, Frolickers and Bubonic as an infantry support, and the rest of them, yeah, it's just Frolickers, Bubonic, and Tamerken on foot. Everything else are riding something. They're all, or in disguise, just mobility. Plague Drones with Dev's Hat, 2 of them, 1 of them the Angels of Decay, Rotting Riders, 4 units of Throwing Axes, and 3 Furies. Yep, the Bane of Khorne, kiting. People are trying to out-Khorne today, it seems. Nah, this is just kiting. This is not out-Khorning Khorne. This is just kiting. A lot of throwing axes that Khorne has no idea how to deal with right now. Because they didn't bring any kiting tool. Didn't bring any anti-kiting tools other than a couple of Murder Horsemen with throwing axes. 3 of them actually, but they're just gonna get overwhelmed by Furies and more throwing axes from the other side. And the other side has poison. Yeah, not great for Khorne, a front line of Khorne Gores, but they're just gonna get peppered down by Dev's Head or throwing axes, I suppose. 1 unit of elite Hellforge host. Ooh, this is gonna be rough. Yeah, this is gonna be rough for Khorne. And there's no caster too, so Karanek doesn't really matter in this one. And Skulltaker leading the army on his blood bike. Oh no, yeah, blood bike. But yeah, it is rough. It is rough for Khorne. They don't have any anti-kiting capabilities other than the Marauders, and they're just outclassed in that department entirely. No spoilers, but I think we all know what happens here. Alright, do you want to fast forward this one then? But yeah. We can fast forward a bit here. Throwing axes from Khorne whittling down a bit of the Dev's head. But the Dev's head and throwing axes absolutely annihilated some of the Khorne horsemen. And on top of that, just plague drones jump. Oh, that is the melee unit of plague drones. I did not spot that. My mistake. Jumps in, ties down the Marauder horsemen, and just routs them away with the help of more Marauder horsemen and some Furies. Wait, yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh, maybe there's only 2 Furies and 1 melee plague drones. Okay, never mind. Either way, those Marauder horsemen are done for. They are just going to get chased off by the Furies. And Khorne is getting kited to death. Anything they try to send out against the enemies, oh no, these guys got caught in Verlecker's Bubonic. A little bit of a slip up in Micro as well, and more of those valuable throwing axes Marauder mobility are getting dealt with from the Khorne side. So Nurgle are slowly gaining that upper hand in terms of mobility control over the battlefield. They did make a slip up here, Marauder horsemen getting caught by the Minotaurs and got hacked through quite a bit, down to half a unit only. But yeah, Khorne trying really hard to shut down the enemy kiting game here. Though these Karanex summon Flash Hounds will be tied down by the Verlecker's Bubonic and just get stuck in melee for now. While the throwing axes, the Rotting Riders jumping straight into melee against the Minos, who did not manage to get a counter charge and are now pinned down, being shot by throwing axes and Dev's Head, taking a ton of damage. Yeah, things are not looking great for Khorne at all. Just getting out-kited in every turn. Lowton, Ralph Wiggum meme, I'm in danger. Yep, indeed. Indeed, you are in danger. But yeah, I think that is gonna be it. Khorne getting out-kited in every turn of the combat, and anytime they try to go into melee, they're stuck against something they don't want to fight. Super elite anti-large cavalry, for example, against the Minotaurs, and then they're just stuck there fighting, and that means the Death's Head throwing axes are free to annihilate them, execute them from afar. I'm gonna do a bit more fast forward here. I think we can just fast forward this one actually. Yeah, it's just Skulltaker has no way to catch up to enemy targets and just take a bunch of Death's Head to the face once again. Hellforge Hoes, the last bastion of strength, are getting ganged up on by a lot of stuff. Tamerken is fighting as well. Oh, the Rotting Riders are... Oh wait, the heal count are in sight and it continues to heal for now. Though they are on fire, so the healing is half for a bit. But overall, this is not great for Khorne at all. I feel like, yeah, Khorne's biggest weakness right now in this day and age is actually kiting. I've seen so many instances where Khorne is getting out-kited by pretty much everyone and their mother. How to counter Khorne? Run away and throw sticks. Yep, that's pretty much the case here. Just run away. Khorne has very solid infantry, but yeah, they can't catch up to the skirmishing power. And they try to capture the point and get that capture point victory, but in the end, just not quite able to get that out. Oh, that was painful for the Khornegoers. They got caught in that slight bug of unbreakable while being terrified, meaning locking you in terrified state until the end of Unbreakable. But yeah, pretty much getting straight up out-kited from by the Nurgle army, getting throwing axe to death and Death's Head to death. Not much to be said here, unfortunately. A lot of damage from the Death's Head. As I said before, they're very deadly if they can just get their hands on some expensive targets. And Hellforge Host did some decent damage when they got surrounded, but yeah, that's about all they could have done. And I guess they caught the Rotting Riders for a bit, but I don't think that matters. It is mostly just getting kited to death with throwing axes that Khorne simply had no option to deal with. Like, the throwing axes Marauders of Khorne Murder Horsemen might have been the last hope for Khorne to win this game, but they either got outshot or just caught by flying targets and pressured off in melee. And then everything else are just sitting ducks, waiting to be executed from afar. Especially the Minos with such a large hitbox. Alright, that is done. Let's delete that. Nurgle versus Vampire Coast. Nurgle once again bring a bunch of Death's Head in the form of Exalted Plague Bearers, with alongside 5 more Plague Bearers, regular ones. Just bring a wall of meat to the battlefield. Maybe this will fare better than my wall of meat against you guys' box build, but we shall see. 3 Furies and 1 Chaos Warhounds with poison. That's the Nurgle signature mobility. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle here providing Rancid Visitations and Stream of Corruption only. Coming with the Crown of Everlasting Conquest to heal himself, since there's not much units that needs healing on the battlefield for Nurgle. On the other side, for the Vampires, there's a front line of Deccan mobs, second line of Bomber mobs, and the third line of Handgun mobs. Just a very layered defenses, an onion layer, an onion formation of melee, short range, high damage missiles, and then long range, lower damage missiles. And they're protected by animated hulks and gun crabs at the back. One of them, the Lamprey's Revenge, with regeneration, Regiment of Renown, and shotguns as well. Luthor Harkon leading the army with Hornswaggle to drop enemy melee stats, making them more vulnerable to a snipe, I guess. Also, he comes in with a pistol to try and outshoot the enemy, I guess, so that's something. I'm not sure if it's that effective, honestly, but yeah, it's something. Power Siphon for... Power Siphon. Increase cooldowns and increases enemy figure generation. Increases enemy figure consumption. That might be a pretty interesting item, just to make enemies less effective throughout combat in the later stage. Skybrand, this build did surprisingly well, not gonna lie. We shall see. We shall see. I think that's it for the army builds. Let's see. The Plague Bearers are just slowly walking up to the enemy lines. They have 11,000 HP, so they have a lot of meat for the enemy to chill through. And they can take quite a bit of punishment in that regard, especially with the physical resistance, right? Mitigating some of the incoming damage, making them last even longer under the enemy punishment. But of course, both sides are rather sluggish, so I'm just going to fast forward a bit to skip the marching phase. Oh, also there's no deck gunners here to blast them down, so the Plague Bearers are not getting shot from afar. Either way, once the Plague Bearers are closing in, they are just going to get subjected to Bomber mobs to blast them down. Furies are moving in from on the flanks, ready to dive down onto enemy Bomber mobs and Gunnery mobs, just to silence their firepower for now. Death's Head are moving in, and perhaps they're just going to launch those deadly missiles against the enemy. But this is a just slow but steady wall of meat, poisonous, rotten flesh. Even more rotten than the undead, I suppose. But yeah, the Bomber mobs are getting absolutely pinned down by the Furies and are actually getting executed. On the far side, animated hulks and gun crabs are moving too far away from the main formation, trying to chase off the Warhounds. And that neglected the protection of the main formation here. But yeah, the Plague Bearers are marching into the back line here. As one of the devs had managed to delete some Bomber mobs. And the Exalted Plague Bearers this time, seeing that the Bomber mobs are dead, they decided to just move on to the Gun Crabs and try to annihilate these rather tanky units of the Vampirates. Are there any more Death's Head? No more Death's Head remains, but there are a lot of Plague Bearers still in the fight, and they are just trying to outgrind the other side of the battlefield, honestly. But yeah, Gun Crabs took quite a bit of damage from the Exalted Plague Bearers, so there's that. Wait, what's coming in? I didn't see that. Is that fecundity or something? Or I'm not sure. But yeah, Chaos Sorcerer Lord though, you're taking quite a bit of damage from the handgunners. And now the Bomber mobs are turning around and bombarding the Plague Bearers, trying to thin out those enemy infantry numbers. And Balance of Power is in favor of the Vampirates right now. I want to see what else gets smashed. We don't have Wood Elves in this tournament, unfortunately. I might play it next week, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, Rotting Prometheans getting stuck in the fight. Yeah, they're just like slowly grinding through the Exalted Plague Bearers right now. Wait, did the the Vampires did bring the Vampire Fleet Captain, but how did he get so low in HP? He probably just got Rancid Visitations to death. Actually, Stream of Corruption doing some nice damage to the enemy infantry, but yeah, not doing a whole lot. Overall, Balance of Power is still in favor of the Vampirates, but all the gun lines of the Vampirates are compromised, or most of the gun lines are compromised. 2 of them still online, actually. But the Exalted Plague Bearers doesn't care. They just tank the damage and marches on. They have 13,000 HP. Holy shit. That's a lot of HP. And now they're moving on to the next row of the enemy targets. Oh, the Vampire Fleet Captain might just get Rancid Visitation to death. We shall see. At least the vampires are doing some decent damage to the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle there. But yeah, a bit of an invocation of the heck, trying to keep the Vampire Fleet Captain alive. And the bombers are pretty much done for. Not much more can be done by them, as the Exalted Plague Bearers are marching towards them now. And over here, the Exalted Plague Bearers and regular Plague Bearers are just holding on forever and ever and ever. 41 defense still, and physical resistance keeps them quite tanky in the fight. And slowly but surely outgrinding the freaking... They're just outgrinding the freaking vampires with sheer amount of HP. They are not even using much healing. Just a sheer amount of HP that the vampires struggle to kill through. And yeah. Sheer amount of tankiness, actually, yeah. But yeah, the zombie pirate front line are falling. The deckhand mobs, oh. Yeah, they just have so much more HP. And better melee stats as well, and physical resistance. So they're way superior to... the Plague Bearers are way superior to the zombies for like just outgrinding the other front line. And with all the bombers, there's no quick way to clear out the Plague Bearers and Exalted Plague Bearers. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this in fast forward because this is getting dragged out simply due to the sheer amount of HP each side needs to kill through. Both sides are wet noodling each other, and it's gonna take them some time to get through all the HP. Lamprey's Revenge have gone down due to being surrounded and absolutely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Exalted Plague Bearers, but that is, I think that is gonna be the end here, as all the Vampire units are being overwhelmed and slowly grind down by the sheer amount of HP and poison, really. Like shit, man, there's a lot of units. They just couldn't kill through all this wall of flesh from the Plague Bearers, I suppose. Like, the Plague Bearers didn't even do that much damage. They just grind out the other side of the battle. Oh, pretty good damage from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle there. Like, assuming from the Rancid Visitations. Might jump back in to see what happened with that. With the spell casting, actually. But yeah. The Vampire Coast really struggled to kill through 9 whole units of tanky infantry with over 11,000 HP. Some of them over 13,000 as well, with physical resistance, by the way. So the effective HP amount is roughly 13,000 to 15,000. Yeah, that's a lot of HP to go through. Like, they couldn't. The bombers didn't. The bombers didn't manage to do barely 10,000 HP in total. And the pistol mobs, they just struggle to do the damage, man. Especially not in melee against the Plague Bearers, who have very solid melee defense and physical resistance. So that is like effectively... Oh wait, okay, they did like 18,000 HP damage. But that's it. There's like... that's 60,000 HP to kill through, and that's 65. So 125 HP from the infantry that they need to cut through. They couldn't do that. Not exactly 125. Not exactly 125 HP, but effectively 125 HP because of the physical resistance. They were not able to do that much damage. The gun crabs did better. The gun crabs did like that's 25, 35, more than 35,000 HP damage. But the rest of the army here, this is like 18,000, so that's 53,000, that's 1,300, 66,000, that's shit. Wait, hold on, that's 13,000 actually, yeah, 66,000, that's here's 8,000, so is that 8,000 or 9,000? Let's give it that's 9,000. So 75,000. And then these guys are doing like 25. Now, let's say 20,000 each. 2,000 each. So that's 12 more thousand. 87,000 HP damage, and then Another 6,000. 80,000 damage. Yeah, roughly 90,000 damage. And they're not even close to killing off all these plague bears. And then there's also these, they need to kill off the Chaos Furies as well. And on top of that, there's like this guy who just keeps healing himself with the Crown of Everlasting Conquest. It's just too much HP to kill off, man. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And then with Nurgle Magic King, a spam stream for map-wide healing as well. Oh, right, yeah, that too. The constant map-wide healing spam, just to bloat up the HP even more. Yeah, they couldn't do it. They need more healing. Especially like the Chaos Furies very effectively shut down some of the bomber mobs, and that means the Vampire Coast lost out a lot of important DPS that could have thinned out the Plague Bearers. And without those, they could not have, just couldn't cut through all that HP of the Plague Bearers. I mean, these are demons, so they don't need to kill, you don't need to kill off every single bit of HP of them, you just need to get them demonic instability crumble. But it is still a lot of effective HP that you need to cut through, and yeah, the Vampire Coast with only bomber, like they couldn't outgrind this shit, essentially, with all the stream of corruption and rancid visitation stream just to keep those plague bearers alive. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. It's just too rough. Yeah. Actually, quickly jump back in just to see what happened with the rancid visitation. It's just a lot of HP. And yeah, most of the stuff also has like physical resistance, including the Fury, so it takes them quite a while to cut through. Alright, sorry for the rewatch, I just want to see the rancid visitations happening. A bad habit of mine, I guess, is just constantly rewatching certain replays. Just to spot out stuff I missed out in combat, but I think it's quite important here. Sometimes to notice what happened in certain parts of the battle, because inevitably things are happening all over the board. I can't see everything with only one camera after all, and one pair of eyes after all. Yeah. Vampire Fleet Captain is just standing back, not doing a whole lot. Summoned some pistol mobs, trying to trade into the Plague Bearers, who did manage to get the shots into the right targets, whittling down the Lamprey's Revenge and shut down one of the bomber mobs. These bomber mobs did better, but still not doing a whole lot of damage for some reason with their bombs. Oh yeah, Rancid Visitation's coming in, does a lot of damage with that spell. While the... oh, right, and then the pistols are also missing a lot of their shots. Handguns, not pistols, but yeah. So a lot of the ammo was also wasted into certain targets. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, it's just too much HP. And the vampires simply do not have enough DPS to cut through all that, which was unfortunate. Alright, let's see. That is done. And let's see. Siege versus Cornier. Let's see. Marlow Morgan versus Electric Spinach. Okay. Or Mata? Marlow Morgan or Mata on this challenge here. Going with a very mobile, but oh no, Corn getting kited again. 4 Zangors, 4 Xantigors, 4 Marauders with javelins and Warflame javelins. A Screamer in the form of the Shrieking Skyrays, and then the Knights of Immolation, Regiment of Renown, Doom Knights of Siege that can drop fire poop. And then yeah, Xantigors, Marauders of Siege ready to just skirmish the Khorne army to death, unfortunately. Skull Cannon, but yeah. And also, Demon Prince of Siege here, ready to pin the enemy down. What? No Gaze of Fate, okay. That's fine. Treasure of Treason of Siege for that leadership bomb, and a Plague of Rust to lower enemy armor for more effective javelins. Now on the other side though, for the Khorne army, a front line of Marauders, which is not a bad call. They can use their shield and rather cheap numbers there to just screen off the enemy javelins and protect the more valuable assets at the back. Mine was also Khorne, Bloodwake Berserkers, Karanak leading, providing that Hunt of the Blood God, Prey of the Blood God, yeah, to pin down the enemy characters here. But unfortunately, the problem is that the Demon Prince is flying, so even if you pin it down with the Prey of the Blood God, you can't really reach it with Scabrand. I guess you can try to catch him with Rampage, but that's a whole different thing. Chaos Warhounds on the far flanks, and Skull Cannon providing that anti-skirmish firepower. Probably a better pick to go with Bellowers, Hellforge Bellowers, just because they're more effective in blasting enemy cavalry and infantry, anything with a lot of models. But yeah, it is not a bad choice here still, just to blast enemy mobility, but not doing a whole lot of damage because the siege barrier is there to block shots. So yeah, not great. Marauders are pushing up ahead. Oh, Scarbrand shouldn't have pushed up ahead. He's trying to chase after the Marauders horsemen and get close enough to get that Rage Embodied active and get them Rampage, but oh no, he's not fast enough. Okay, he's slightly fast enough. Why are you not turning around? Yep, finally, you're turning around to try and go into melee against Scarbrand, but there's no follow-up. There's no units nearby to follow up with a melee attack to catch those horsemen in melee. The Chaos Warhounds are just too far away, trying to chase down some Murder Horsemen that they couldn't easily catch up onto. They have no slow, no poison, no chill, or no frostbite, so they struggle to catch up to the Murder Horsemen while the rest of the infantry are trying to catch up. And but yeah, the hounds unfortunately isolated themselves, overextended, and just get picked off by enemy counter skirmishing firepower, just cutting them down, and then a counter charge from the Centaurs as well. While Scarbrand down to half health just from being shot by 2 Marauder horsemen. So these guys have earned back quite a bit of value already, despite only using half of their ammo. Karanak is taking his turn trying to catch, but yeah, things are not looking well. What you want to do against this kind of kiting build is send your infantry in front to screen and just let them absorb all the kiting ammo, and while the Skull Cannon shoots back. And then if your opponent gets a little bit cocky or impatient, try to send their troops close to you. You can counter charge with sally forth with Scarbrand and try to catch them with that Rage Embodied. But you still want to stay close to your mobility and to your infantry though, so that they can quickly follow up with counter charge once stuff got Rampage into melee. Like if Scarbrand had some hounds right behind them, they could have jumped. The hounds could have jumped into melee against the enemy Marauders and quickly finish off that unit. But now they couldn't have done that because the hounds were all the way on the other side of the map. And Scarbrand is now just getting picked apart by enemy javelins. Karanak here trying to chase off the enemy's skirmishers, but unfortunately getting surrounded and swarmed by a bunch of Zandigors as well, who also have magic attacks that bypasses his physical resistance. And yeah, Khorne is just gonna get kited to death at this point, with not much they can do to counteract all these kiting. Like, things are getting picked apart by javelins. Scarbrand is also getting extremely low in health. And yeah, Knights of Immolation, they can just always move on to drop stuff onto things, drop fire onto things, poop on things actually, yeah. Scarbrand tries to like push up again, but you don't really want him to use him to chase after skirmishing cavalry. He's not that tanky with a big ass hitbox, where the missiles are certainly gonna hit him without much issues. And you can see he just got whittled down bit by javelins, which has decent enough armor-piercing values and magic attacks to bypass his physical resistance, and just did a lot of damage to him over time. And yeah, all getting some very solid value. And a lot of these melee troops didn't really see much action throughout the process either, with the Zantigors and Javelins picking apart the Khorne army. Very unfortunate there. But yeah, I feel like Khorne fighting any fight are basically... Yeah, they basically have to prepare for a kiting battle at this point, because everyone just kites them. What they are good at is melee engagement. They want to engage in melee and duke it out, so their opponents will just always deny them. Yeah, they will just deny them and just shoot them with missiles and try to decide things in range combat. So yeah, that is very unfortunate. I blame Fruit Rules Discord for brainstorming that build. I'm not sure which one you're talking about actually. But yeah. Wait, Fruit Rules Discord. I don't think I'm on it, so I don't really know. But yeah, anyways. The Vermin League Discord is a... Wait, Vermin League is not a Fruit Rule Discord, no? I mean, most of the competitive rule stuff happens on there, to be fair. Since most of the more important multiplayer matches happens on there among the Conquest scene. Scene, yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Khorne is just unfortunately getting out-kited, just gonna get kited everywhere. It is just the fate of Khorne in this patch. And unfortunately, the recent DLC didn't give them any tools to deal with kiting. Just gave them more elite infantry as if they don't already have a bunch of elite infantry. Yeah. Which is pretty rough for them. Probably just need to bring Hounds, Fury Spam, and Hellforge Battlers to counter kite. But yeah, Cries in immobility. Pain. Only Kairos has Gaze of Fate in MP? No, I think the Demon Prince also have Gaze of Fate in MP. I'm gonna punch a kite. Go punch a kite to make myself feel better. Yeah. Don't hurt yourself though, in the process. Kites have a pretty pointy end. I'm not sure which server it was, but the channel name was Fruit Rules Discussion. That's probably Vermin League. The Under Empire Discord, probably. Maybe? Anyways. Khorne yells at kite. Pretty much sums up my 20. Yeah, unfortunately, Khorne just have a rough time against any kind of kite. But yeah, anyways, you only hate kite until you love it. Yep, I guess. I don't know, I just rarely play kite myself, because I feel like I want something scrappy. Kiting is not usually my kind of thing, unless I go full Rohirrim, that's a different thing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Demon Prince has the Gaze of Fate as well. Hold on. Demons of Chaos. And then... Wait, oh wait, the Demon Prince doesn't. The Demons of Chaos specific Demon Prince that has a Gaze of Fate. My bad. But yeah, the regular Demon Prince doesn't have it, I don't think. Change. Demon Prince. Yeah, the regular Demon Prince doesn't have Gaze of Fate. Yeah, my bad. The Feathered Prince, they do. Just counter kite if it would be possible. I think that's quite rough for Khorne, isn't it? Counter kite. Like, Khorne doesn't have a lot of good counter kite tools. They only have Hounds and more Hounds. And some expensive cavalry. Okay, I finally found the server, the ODM community. Ah, okay. Yeah, ODM has a lot of competitive players. Some of the best players are in that clan as well. They are very competitive. Very much known for their elite selection of players too, so... I'm not surprised they came up with such a powerful build. Such an efficient build against Khorne. But yeah, one last battle for today. High Elves versus Slaanesh, and that is going to be it for today's stream. Leodero going with High Elves versus Angels Slaanesh army. I think we don't have every single battle submitted in the Discord, so I will. It is what it is. Might miss one battle or two here and there, but whatever. We have it's been 3.5 hours, and my throat is kind of dry from casting actually. So yeah, after that I'm just gonna go and have dinner. All right, army belts for the High Elves. A semi-box of a staunch line of spears, a multiple archer at the back there, Sisters of Avalon, Talons of Turkileda, and more Sisters of Avalon, trying to synergize the fire damage with the flammable effect there. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Plus 20% fire, plus 20% fire damage. And then 2 11 Reavers plus the Fireborn, so definitely a fire synergy build. But this is where you probably want a Firecaster, just to get more Kindle Flame fire damage boost. Or Teclis, who can give you regrowth, and also activate Kindle Flame at the same time as he casts spells, like Flock of Doom and stuff. But yeah, other than that we have Mage of Life there, Tyrion providing a solid melee lord, who can duel anything pretty much. as long as he doesn't get terrified away. For some reason, he doesn't have immune to psychology. And the life caster has regrowth and earth blood. If you have regrowth, you probably don't want life bloom, because regrowth is such an expensive spell. You won't be able to cast much to activate life bloom. So you're spending more money onto an ability that doesn't get used much to earn you the value you need to win the game. Anyways, that is it for the army builds here. We have what else? We have on the other side for the Slaanesh army, Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh in the front line there, and second line of Forsaken. 3 of them, in fact, Heartseekers of Slaanesh, and roaming ahead of the entire army are some Slaanesh Furies to jump onto enemy missile troops, and Seeker Chariots to plow through enemy archers and spears. Leading the army is a Demon Prince of Slaanesh with Pavane, Pit of Shades, and Enfeebling Foe. Fiendish Musk to reduce enemy melee attack, and Paragon of Excess. A lot of melee attack debuffs. If there's a Musk, soporific Musk in there, they can reduce enemy melee attack even more. Actually, this might be a new army build. Bring a Demon Prince, just keep dropping enemy melee attack with the soporific Musk as well. Interesting. Might try that out at some point. But yeah, that is it for the army builds here. We're going back into normal speed. And we're gonna see what happened. Alright, Sisters of Avalon are firing into the Slaanesh troops. And the Forsaken, not having any shields, are taking a ton of damage in the process. Devoted Marauders don't really care, but Forsaken are more expensive, and this is not great. A lot of value going into the pockets of the missiles, but of course, Chaos Furies are nearby, and they are just gonna jump in and start disrupting those Sisters of Avalon and the Pit of Shades, because the Talons of Torquilada are in such a blocky formation. They are just gonna get hit smack on the right in the center with that Pit of Shades and absolutely getting annihilated. Though the Furies are also taking a lot of friendly fire. Alarian Reavers are jumping in, trying to save their Sisters of Avalon from the Slaanesh mobility. Fireborn are still sitting in reserve though. Spears are trying to hold the line, but Secret Chariots are trying to plow through. They don't have much armor, so the longer they get stuck in this kind of block fight scenario, the more damage you take, and that is not great for them for sure. Slaanesh though, unfortunately, they don't have any more mobility on the field other than the Furies and the Seekers, who are still struggling to push through the high elves, by the way, and taking a ton of damage in the process, not doing a whole lot in return. So that was not great for them. And the Demon Prince getting hit hard by a torrent of arrows. Talons of Torquilada and the Sisters of Avalon doing so much work against them, just lighting him up with the flammable effect and then synergizing with a ton of fire missiles, and he's just getting melted in the blink of an eye. He's trying to snipe out Tyrion, I think, but unfortunately Tyrion is a very competent melee fighter, so he was not that successful. He was not that successful in his attempt, and the box managed to hold on with a staunch line of spears, and a little bit of a rough execution with the rush there. The Slaanesh Demon Prince got straight up deleted as the Talons of Torquilada and the Sisters of Avalon were able to regroup. While the Heartseekers though managed to catch the Fireborn out of position and just deleted them. The problem is the Illyrian Reavers followed up and now pinning down the Heartseekers in the melee fight. And the Slaanesh troops are really struggling to deal with both the combined arm strategies of the High Elves, right? A staunch line of spear, and then the Sisters of Avalon showering them with arrows, and also the mobility with the Illyrian Reavers ready to just jump in and intercept any melee threats. Probably should have tried to flank around with the Forsaken and also the Heartseeker Chariots instead of just throwing everything in from the front. But yeah, this is a bit too late here. The Heartseeker Chariots are dealt with. They're dead. No more chariots to deal with the enemy missile line, and the staunch line of spears are still holding. No spells to help out the Slaanesh troops against the staunch line of spears either. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, that was quite unfortunate there. The execution could have been better with the melee rush, I suppose. Like the Forsaken could have spread out a bit wider and flank around instead of trying to jump in from the front. And the Secret Chariots also charging in from the front, but getting stuck in high elf spears, one of the lighter mass infantry too. So that was quite embarrassing for the Seekers. They are not great as a chariot, unfortunately. Too fragile, too glass cannon, and they just don't have much mass either, I feel like. But yeah, anyways, that is going to be it for today's stream. Ooh, the Heartseekers did a lot of damage, killed off the Fireborn after all. I guess the Fireborn also received some healing, but yeah, either way, that is not enough. They killed off the Fireborn, but the archers melted them from afar, getting some really solid value over the course of battle, especially with this one Sisters of Avalorn. The rest of the army didn't do too much damage for the High Elves, but they just need to hold the line and let the Sisters do all the work. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed this tournament battles. Congratulations to Scabrand for winning this tournament with the tournament with the Deadly Death's Head, especially the last game where he just sent a wall of rotten flesh, maggots and blisters and boils, plague boils, over at the vampirates and crushed them with the sheer amount of HP. But yeah, that is gonna be it for today's stream. I hope everyone enjoyed both the stream and the tourney, whether you played in it or you just watched. And yeah, let me just catch up with the chat actually. You should try Valkia versus Siege. She can outtrade 4 times Siege air investment. Definitely a good choice. For a little bit of Spear Slopnir to thin out the enemy infantry if there's any as well. And also she's harder to get whittled down by skirmishers. The Fireborn ruined this 8 high elf build. It was so good until I saw the Fireborn. It could have been a very staunch line of spear build, but yeah, there is the Fireborn there. I mean, it is a staple for the high elves though in every fight because they're just so good. Siege must have had personal beef with that Fury. No, that's a Slanesh, but yes, that is a personal beef for sure. Sending it straight into the Pit of Shades. That's what Fireborn do. Classics of Slanesh propaganda blaming Siege for Fury casualties. They're expensive and suck to and die. Nah, the Fireborn are good though. Could have gotten 3 Reavers for that money, but could they? Yeah, to be fair, that Fireborn just died horribly. I guess that was a bit of a mismicro, but yeah. I think you can get 4, almost 4 Reavers with that kind of money, actually. Maybe 3, actually. No, I know. They're expensive and suck and die. They're elves, and that's true. That is just elves in general. Whether they're dark... I guess it's not for Code 1 Cavalry, but that's basically elves in general. They're expensive and die. Not necessarily suck, depending on the unit, but they're all very fragile, I guess. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed this little bit of a tournament in the middle of the week. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching and have a great week, everyone. Tacticlich signing out.